Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another stream, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to get me. We don't usually do the stream on Thursday or anything, and it's not like a weekly show or something, but I just planned this yesterday. And it's one hell of a stream that I look forward to. We're going to be talking about Noni Madueke. People will be answering for their crimes. We're going to be talking about the Eze and Rodrygo situation. And we're going to be talking about the Mbuemo deal still stalling as well. That's another thing for us to discuss. Big up to all of you guys. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel if you're ready to do so. Every single one of you guys, please hit the like button. Please subscribe. And always remember, every single show we do, every panelist link is in the description. So go give every single person who comes on this channel a subscribe and go show them the same love as well. You show me, you get me. So big up to all of you guys. And yeah, we're here. Anyway, yesterday he went viral for losing his shit at the Madueke deal. Yeah, even positive Egal couldn't find any positives. How you doing, Egal, mate?
Hey, what's going on, man? Honestly, I don't know what to say. It is what it is at this point. At this point, I just want to find light at the end of the tunnel. I can't get any more upset about it.
If you can't even be positive, then I don't know what the hell we can do, to be honest with you.
Hey, there's still hope. Apparently, Berta is still looking at Rodrygo and Eze, so we're gonna see.
We'll see. Joining us next into your OBS is off, Staffy. Habibi Galbi. Anyway, joining us on the channel next, you get me, the man, the myth, the legend, the fraud, 6'6", from the streets of Egypt, grew up in New York City, New York Knicks fan, and a Manchester United fan. I like Staffy. How do you Staffy, mate?
First of all, do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought my audio was not working. This intro is just full of lies. I'm not 6'6". I didn't grow up in the streets of New York. The only thing that you got right was my name, I guess. Anyways,
Wow.
Yeah. How you doing, Egal? I was looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How you doing?
I'm glad to see you. That's all. Glad to see you. I saw your crash out earlier on Twitter. Just glad to be here, Egal. That's all.
You know that doesn't happen often.
I know it doesn't happen often.
I was surprised. I can't lie.
I haven't seen you on No Context Fan TV in a long ass time, bro. So,
I was laughing, bro. The end of that video when he started yelling, "Why?" I just lost it, bro. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Wait, is that Egal?"
Yesterday we were doing a watch along to Egal's stream as well. We were having fun with it.
I'd be doing the same.
On the stream with Ashraf LB and the guys, we switched on Egal's stream for like 30 seconds. We were just watching him lose his mind, to be honest with you. So, yeah, guys, Solz is on his way. He's just
Gunner Solz?
No, the other Solz, Sad Solz.
Never met him before. Nice.
Moroccan Solz. See, you're gonna meet him today. Anyway, make sure you guys are liking the video. Make sure you guys are subscribing. Guys, we have already 400 people in here. We haven't even started yet. Don't be a fraud and just like watch for fraudulence. Just hit the like button. It's free. It helps the channel grow. Stop being a bum and hit the like button right now. Shall we start with the United topic to get it out of the way? Or shall we talk about Arsenal straight away?
Why would we start with that? There's nothing relevant to talk about. Let's talk about Egal.
Okay, let's talk about Egal. Okay, you want to know something? Let's just start with Madueke / Arsenal situation. So, Staffy, shall we start with you? Shall we let Egal talk first?
I want to hear from Egal. Yeah. I'd like to hear from Egal before I speak.
No, you know what? What is there to say? What is there to say? Nani Madueke to Arsenal is going to happen, it seems like, at this moment in time. The ups and downs of the transfer window are ridiculous. One day you sign Zubimendi and what do you call it? Gyokeres seems done. Next day, you're hearing £50 million bids are potentially going in for Nani Madueke, and Gyokeres' deal has stalled. I really do believe this is an experiment on how to make people feel the most ups and downs in a certain window, because it doesn't make sense. Why are Arsenal so quick to pull away from deals for Lisandro Martinez, pull away from deals for Sesko, pull away from deals for all these other players that we've wanted in the past that we didn't want to pay just a little bit more to get the player. We didn't want to pay a little bit more to get Moses Caicedo in the January window a couple years ago, Mykhailo Mudryk in the January window, Alexander Isak. We didn't want to pay 15 million more for Alexander Isak. We did not want to pay more for so many players in the past. But the moment it goes to Chelsea, it's like, yeah, don't worry, we'll pay 65 for Kai Havertz. Yeah, we'll pay 50 million for Nani Madueke. Something stinks. It doesn't make sense. Either reports are being pushed from Chelsea, and Arsenal's not really being anywhere near the 50 million that's being reported, and it may be lower, and they're just reporting the total package or a perspective of what Chelsea wants, or we're just running like idiots because there's 5 million is the difference between Arsenal and Sporting right now for Gyokeres. You're telling me they're willing to spend 50 million on Nani Madueke, but they're not willing to go 5 million closer to the player they really want at striker? There's much more negotiations happening. I think there's more method to the madness than we believe. And at this moment in time, we choose not to believe that the Nani Madueke for £50 million stuff is real.
So are we now allowed to speak freely about Arsenal? Or are we going to get called names again, and then we're going to get personally attacked, and we're just going to have people in the chat crying every time me and Sam say so? Can we finally speak freely? Can we finally call it for what it is?
You could speak, but depending on what you say, don't be surprised if people act whichever way they act. You can't control how people feel.
No, it's just like, it's the denial, Egal. It's the denial. I think now we can freely speak about this and say how bad of a deal it is. How your club is just extremely frustrating. I'd be extremely frustrated to be an Arsenal fan the last 3 years because you keep getting close, and then the summer hits, and you're like, you know what? This is when we're gonna make moves that get us over the line. This is when we get over the hump, and then you just end up doing things like this. Like I can't begin to tell you like how bad this move is from so many different aspects. I'm hearing Giuseppe yesterday sitting there in the Football Terrace chat trying to say, well, I didn't want this move, but it's not as bad as people were making it out to seem, or I'm not going to crash out over it and cry over it. Well, guess what? You'll cry at the end of the season when this move is probably one move that prevents you from making the right move that eventually leads to you not winning the league because Liverpool or City probably going to win the league from you. This is what happens. I just feel like so many fans now just want to be so down the middle that no one wants to be a fan anymore. No one wants to actually show true emotions when they get a deal that is good or bad. Everyone was so scared of saying, oh, like, I'm not going to criticize. I'm going to be the toppest of gooners. Bro, who gives a fuck? When you see all your rivals together agree that this is not a good move, it has nothing to do with United fans, Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, City fans, Tottenham fans. Bro, at the end of the day, you're paying 50 million for Nani Madueke when you see Kudus, who I don't think he had a great season, but Kudus is only 5 million more. Elanga's going for the same money. And not only are you paying that for a player that we all know is not breaking into that starting 11, he's going to have a reserve role, and he knows that, and everyone knows that, and everyone admits that. You're bringing a player that you know has a very limited ceiling in this team while funding 50 million in pure profit to your rivals. And guess what? This is what's going to happen. Chelsea are going to take that 50 mil. Let's just assume he's going to go 50 mil or probably more, but I'm just going to go for the minimum 50 mil because that's what they're starting at. And then they're going to go and they're going to sign like 2 players with two new down payments because of that 50 mil. And then people are going to be like, but why are Chelsea signing so many players? Where are Chelsea getting that money from? It's because of our idiotic clubs. You being the most Egal, because don't forget, my club is stupid too. That 2 seasons ago, they went and spent 55 million on Mason Mount. But I actually don't understand why you do so much business with Chelsea. When your club comes out and says, we have a great relationship with Chelsea, why?
Wait, stop.
Relationship with Chelsea
Please,
when it comes to transfers.
Can I interject? Because that's Fabrizio. Fabrizio is another mouthpiece for Chelsea. At this point, because bro, this is not coming from Arsenal's side. Why would we go out there and say we're willing to pay 50 million for Nani Madueke? Why would that be even in the atmosphere at this moment in time? Arsenal are probably willing to pay between 30 to 40 million, and 40 being the top end. And Chelsea want 50 million. What do? They brief the media that Arsenal might be considering 40 plus 10. And
So is this
Fabrizio
another
then
smoke screen? Because what are you saying basically?
I'm basically saying Fabrizio Romano got wrong the deal for Liverpool for Florian Wirtz. He said it was 150 million euros. It ended up being what? 135 million euros.
Yeah,
15
but he
million
reports
off.
what's being told to him, Egal.
No,
He's
no, no,
not
but
making up
15
numbers.
million off the mark of what the final price was.
No, but again, Egal, he reports what's being told to him.
I know, but
Unless
he
you're
also
accusing him of making up numbers.
I'm not saying he's making up numbers. I'm simply saying the numbers that he gives us is never the actual official end price. Sometimes it's the early talks. Sometimes it's Liverpool might be willing to pay 150 for Florian Wirtz. Guess what? The deal ended at 135. That really that big of a difference? Yeah, it is. 15
Okay, so let me
million
ask you something.
is a big
Are you
difference.
insinuating this deal is not going to be for 50 million?
That's what I think. It does not make sense why
Or is it going to
Arsenal
be
would
less?
spend. The whole reason why people are upset is not just Chelsea. It's not just this Madueke. It's also the price, and I think that's the biggest issue of them all. Forget about the
So
fact that
when
it
does it
costs
become acceptable for you? Yeah, if it's less money, would you make a U-turn on
bro.
this?
If the deal was 30 million, then I think it would make a lot more sense. You're getting a bench player for bench player prices, and he's going to be on low wages, and he's coming in as an option. But the fact that we haven't gotten Eze, we haven't gotten Rodrygo, we haven't bid for them yet, and we're going to bid 50 million, which is 10 million off what Eze's price is, 20 million off what Rodrygo's potential price might be. That is the main reason why majority of people are upset. It's the mismanagement of funds. And I think people could justify Madueke for 30, 20 million, even 40 maybe. But the fact that it's 50 million and it's only 10 million off what they paid for João Pedro, what we could potentially pay for Eze, is the main reason why a lot of people are upset. Bro, Kvaratskhelia moved in January for 10 million more.
Look, I think the reason, again, big up everyone on the stream. Obviously,
That's
my
good,
bad
bro.
for being late and stuff, but
It's okay. Don't worry. We changed the stream
we
100
we
times anyway.
we have a fraud on the top left. But anyway, we'll discuss that another time. Listen, I agree with Egal, and I think that the main point is the cost equals his position in the team. Ultimately, when you pay 80 million for a player, or let's say 90, 100 million, he's not going to be a backup player. And if you pay 10, 15, 20 million for a player, that's justifiable to be a backup. The biggest problem with Madueke is that his cost actually tells us where he's going to be involved in this team. Because when you're paying 50 million for a player, you're not paying 50 million pound for a backup right winger. It doesn't make any justifiable sense that Arteta is going to spend 50 million pounds to play Madueke as a backup for Saka in the FA Cup games or in the games where Saka's tired. We already know Saka plays a lot of minutes, and he likes to play a lot of minutes. He's a very fit, he's not very injury prone, plays a lot of games, very consistent. So ultimately, the only other example, the only other reasoning for me as to why Arsenal would sign Madueke is because Arteta thinks he can play on both wings, Arteta thinks he can play through the middle, and Arteta is going to try and make him into a project of his. It seems like Arteta likes to sign players that people don't want to prove to the world that he can do something different to what everyone thinks. Genuinely, I know it's and obviously I haven't got any evidence for this, but for me, I cannot understand for the life of me why you would spend 50 million pound on Noni Madueke. It makes no sense. Look, Norgard, even though I don't think he was a good enough replacement, you know what? I can live with it. He may not be a good enough replacement, but he is a replacement. Okay, so ultimately, cool. You could have signed a better DM, but you signed Norgard. That's fine. I can live with that. I can live with Mosquera being a backup centre back. I can live with Kepa being a backup keeper. I can live with Gyokeres. I can live with all the signings we've made. Madueke makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense to the system. And I saw a report yesterday saying, Arteta assessed all options, including Morgan Rogers, Eberechi, and Madueke was what they came up with. I hope to the hells of everyone that's listening, I hope that this is not the last attacker we sign after Gyokeres. I hope so. Because if this becomes our Eze and Rodrygo replacement, it cancels it out. It really does. And I agree with Ashraf yesterday. Some people need to get put in the court of law for this. What the hell is... And look, you know me. I give Arteta one more year. I'm not an Arteta route, right? I'm not, and I'm still not. Okay, I still think Arteta has done a good job for Arsenal. Deserves another season with some quality attackers. The main reason why I've been fighting everybody on these streams, Ashraf, Fasad, Hussam, Mo, because I've been saying, give Arteta the necessary attackers he needs. Let him play a season with a bunch of really good attackers, and let's see what he can do. But then now's the time where you have to... I can't believe we went years without spending money on proper attackers. And the one season that we spend money on attackers, we're left with Noni Madueke as our first winger option as to who we're signing. It's absolutely rubbish. I would have rather Adiemi. I would have rather so many other wingers. I would have rather Gittins. I would have rather, honestly, Elanga, Kudus, anybody. Madueke, for me, forget his price tag. He's not a good enough player to start for any football club. He may be a good enough backup, but you don't spend 50 M's on a backup. So it makes no financial sense. It makes no footballing sense. And even the talent ID is not good enough for me. So what's going on here? Go on, someone.
Yeah, let me just say this though. It is not acceptable to turn around and show your dislike about a potential signing and abuse the guy though. I'm not sitting here saying abuse the guy. You criticize Arsenal for making the signing or even considering making the signing. Don't go out here sending the guy DMs. Don't go out here sending the guy direct messages and voice notes. It's getting to a point where it's ridiculous.
I agree with that.
I could be against the signing. We can all be against the signing. But to go out there and verbally abuse him and send him messages is a mad thing. People need to chill out.
That's a mad thing. And also, I disagree with some footballing opinions. Ashraf said yesterday on a stream, it's signing Madueke is like signing nobody. No, it's not like... he's still going to be an addition to a team. He's still better than having no winger, right? But the point is even though he can be an addition to a team, he's a good tool to use. For me, and again, I agree with the Gal, no personal towards any player, but he's not good enough for Arsenal. And it just links back now to what is Berta doing? What is Arteta doing? What is the board doing? What's Tim Lewis doing? What are they all doing over there? Like, what... I wish, and I can't wait, if he does sign for Arsenal, right? Arteta's going to be questioned in one of the interviews or in one of in any conference he has. Someone's going to ask him, what was the thinking behind signing Madueke? And I can't wait to hear what Arteta's justification is for Noni Madueke. I can't wait to hear it.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it either. But let me say this. First of all, listen, I've sat back for the last 20 minutes. I've let you guys express your opinions. I'm going to approach this from a completely different angle on Madueke. First of all, big up to Fonzie, of course, taking the piss. Madu Winner is a gorgeous baller with best stickers. You get me? Big up the Arsenal fans who are supporting the Madueke signing. Second of all, we have 1,000 people in here. We're not even at 200 likes yet. That's worse than Madueke conversion rate. So close the live chat, hit the like button, a bunch of Maduekes. Now, I want to say something completely different to what Egal and Solz are saying, because I know maybe Staffy would agree with what I'm about to say. You guys keep talking about it from a money perspective, like, oh, he costs too much, it's 50 million. Even at 30 million, it makes sense. Madueke at 10 million makes no sense. Madueke at 5 million makes no sense because he's a shit signing and he's a shit player. If you look at Arsenal Football Club right now and someone come tell me Nwaneri is a midfielder, Nwaneri right now is a better backup right winger than Madueke. He is. He simply is. If I could have someone to be a backup for Salah at Liverpool at right wing, I would choose Nwaneri over Madueke all day. All day.
But see, so I would disagree with that.
One second. And if your logic is he's backup to Odegaard and Nwaneri, that is. Okay, why when Odegaard was injured, Nwaneri didn't play in the 10? Why did Trossard play in the 10? Why did these other players play in the 10 if he's looked at a 10 in this hypothetical universe that you guys exist in? I look at this Nwaneri situation, this Madueke situation, and I think, I'll be honest with you, I think Arsenal fans need to call their club out. I think they need to be disgraced by this signing by this player. And it's not about the price tag. It's about the fact that once again, just so people know, Chelsea signed Noni Madueke for 27 million. They're about to double what they paid for Noni Madueke in like 2-3 years. And the culprit of this doubling is Arsenal Football Club. Once again, it seems just like one of them. Willian, Petr Cech, Havertz, etc., etc., etc. That's the thing that matters. Tony, you're saying fans are calling it out. I can show you multiple tweets that are completely in support of Nani Madueke. When you say fans are calling it out, we have to also address the ones that aren't calling it out. Like, yes, Egal is calling it out, Solz is calling it out, saying it's not good enough signing. But for me, they're talking about price tag. I'm not mentioning price tag. I just think he's a shit player, and I don't think he improves Arsenal in any way, shape, or form. He just doesn't. He just does not improve Arsenal.
Bro, that's why
he does. He does. No.
And if you want to make it about price, then if the Arsenal logic is let's go get a winger who can dribble, let's go get a winger who can come on the pitch and dribble past players. Okay, go to the Belgian league, buy a winger for £1 million. Then.
That's
for £1 million from the Belgian league, you could go get a dribbler right now.
But he's not.
I want someone right now. Convince me. 1 second. This final statement. Convince me right now. One thing that Nani Madueke does better than Adama Traore.
Wait.
No. But
one second. Johan Bakayoko is about to go to Bayer Leverkusen. He's a 1v1 specialist from. I think he's at PSV from the Dutch league.
He scored against us. Unbelievable goal, by the way.
Leon, who, I mean, now it's confirmed that they're not going to get relegated, but because of financial reasons, they almost relegated them. They have a fire sale on their players. You could go get Malik Fofana or what's the other player's name? Nwama from them. These are all players that are going to cost you 20 mil, 25 mil on an expensive day.
Yeah, but
you don't spend double of that on Madueke. And guess what? Some of these players that I just mentioned, they have a higher ceiling than Madueke. Madueke's ceiling is very, very obvious, which is why I think it's actually very frustrating. I look at the signings that you make. It's like you already know everyone I'm bringing in is at best a backup. No one expects Madueke to be starting. No one expects Norga to be starting. I don't even need to talk about Kepa. Other than Zubamendi, obviously, everything else is just mad underwhelming. This is why I like to call it lazy recruitment. Arsenal are one of few clubs that I look at and I always accuse them of lazy recruitment, because I think you said it better earlier. They always look at a player, especially in the Premier League, that kind of failed. And Arteta I think he has just obsession, like he's Bob the Builder, where he just wants to get something and let me just fix it.
Well, we don't know. Well, look, obviously, we don't know if it's Arteta. We don't know if it's fully Arteta. There's obviously sporting directors.
It's enough of a trend to say that. Come on, we've seen it with Havertz.
There is. Where I fundamentally disagree with both of you is that I think, and I know that Sam said, if it was 5 million, 10 million. No, if it was 5 or 10 million, that's a justifiable signing to be a backup to Bukayo Saka. I don't mind him coming in as a backup to Bukayo Saka. If you spend 10 million on him and he's a backup to Bukayo Saka and you go and get Rodrygo and Eze, I have no problem. Because why? When I've watched Madueke, I don't think he's shit. I think he's a decent
player. You're saying you think he's going to start?
I think for £50 million, you can't spend that on a backup. It's not going to happen. I think he's going to play, yes.
Which is why we're here.
Well, where is he going to start?
Why do you think we're doing this stream?
Bro, Ornstein came out and said Arteta wants him as a winger for both winger options, for left and right. Who knows what Arteta wants to do? Who knows what the magician's going to do? The point is that the price matters. The price is everything, because ultimately, if he's 5 or 10 million pounds, that means we have more funds to spend on Rodrygo and Eze. He's a backup to Bukayo Saka. We already know that for me, and any Arsenal fan that watches Arsenal properly knows, Nwaneri is not a winger. He's not a winger. Okay, he's better in the 10.
Nwaneri is not a winger.
No, he's not a winger.
Why doesn't Nwaneri play in the 10?
Sam, because look, whether Arteta wants to play him in the 10 or not, it doesn't matter. Because that's an Arteta problem, not a Nwaneri problem.
I think he's a better winger than he is a 10.
He's not. No, he's not. That's incorrect. He's not a winger. Nwaneri himself said he's not a winger, and he plays through the middle, okay? So, ultimately, if Nwaneri is not a winger, Arteta's got two options. You either play the guy in his position and give him minutes in the 10 or in the midfield, or you sell him. Same with Martinelli. I know Martinelli. It doesn't matter what anyone says. For me, he's not a traditional winger. He's not diverse enough. He's not a good enough dribbler. He's for me, he's not very good on the wing. Whether it's his position, I don't know if his position. But the point is, when you spend money on a player, the price matters. If he's 5, 10, 15 million, you bring him in. It frees up more funds for the better signings. And trust me, I'm telling you, if he was 10, 15 million pound, nobody would say nothing about the signing. They'd say, "Oh, we could have got a better backup." But everybody would be happy. But £50 million, yeah, come on, man. Like, how can we justify the price tag? Because trust me, Rodrygo's 20 million more. Rodrygo's 20 million more. Kudos was 5 million more. Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense. That's why everything's about the price. And I don't think he's fit.
That's why the other day when I was on a show, I said, "What's the price? What's the price?" Because Chelsea can still press us out of a move. This could still be just Fabrizio Romano jumping the gun, because nobody said, "Here you go." David Ornstein never came out and said it's officially a bid has been submitted and it's accepted or anything like that. He just said conversations have started. Listen, Chelsea Football Club are briefing the media step by step what they want and how they're going to get it. Chelsea is using the media to their benefit. They're the ones creating this controversy because Arsenal have no benefit. Arsenal have no benefit. No, you know what? Fabrizio Romano is a top journalist. He's done what he's done. He's gotten where he's gotten, but he has connections with Chelsea and it's very...
Okay, so you said he's a Chelsea insider, so he would know about this deal then?
Yeah, from the Chelsea side. And it's
from the Chelsea side, he's heard that Arsenal are willing to pay 50.
It's Chelsea's benefit to leak out information that there's going to be a $50 million package when in actual reality is probably 40 million total and like 10 million if he reaches goal bonuses and we win the Champions League and we win the league. If we win the Champions League and win the Premier League and Nani Madueke is in the team, best believe no one gives a fuck. You can have the 50 million. Right?
Of course, yeah.
But the problem everyone has with it right now is Arsenal have yet to bid officially for Gyokeres. Arsenal have yet to bid officially for Eze. Arsenal have yet to make a move for Rodrygo. And these are the players who I deem as level raisers that can improve the team. If you end the window with Gyokeres, Eze, and what do you call it, Madueke, maybe then I can justify because I got in two players in the attack that can improve the team. If I bring in Rodrygo and Gyokeres, then maybe I could justify it. But the price tag I can never justify. £50 million, half of what Florian Wirtz cost you. You're telling me two Nani Maduekes cost you one Florian Wirtz?
At 100 million,
bro. Declan Rice.
Any Arsenal fan tells me Wirtz cost 100 million, I'm gonna say that's two Maduekes, brother. You get me? That's what I'm gonna say.
The only way this would make sense is if going forward, that's the new price for a bench player, 50 million. If this is the world we live in, 50 million is what it costs you for a bench player.
Because Staffy gave you examples that completely ignored.
But guess what?
You could have went to PSG, gotten Bakayoko, who's a better player for half the price. You could have went to Lyon, got Malik Fofana for half the price.
Yeah, but we don't know if they're good enough either. But we don't know if they're good enough either.
I'm not writing on the
window.
One second.
We know for a fact Madueke is not good enough.
Staffy's doing something wrong. Staffy, we cannot write off the whole Arsenal window. We can judge the signing, but based on the signings we've made so far, I think we're on pace to have one of our best windows of all time. I agree. No, because look, we currently got in Zubimendi, we got Norgard, we got Kepa in. We're gonna potentially be bringing in that defender Mascara. Then on top of that, we potentially could be bringing in 3 attackers in Gyokeres, Eze or Rodrygo plus Madueke. Even though I dislike the Madueke deal, we're bringing in 8 players into a team that won the league, that's trying to challenge for the league.
Yeah, but Egal, we're not going to get all 3 attackers though. You know that now.
No. Realistically, look at this. If we don't get, forget about the attackers. Zubimendi, Norgard, Mascara, what do you call it? Who's the other one? Kepa Arrizabalaga. And then we talk about. One second.
Yes, because we need backups in those positions, though, Staffy. We need backups.
Staffy, why didn't Arsenal win the league the last couple of years? Injuries, rotation, lacking depth, and these things add up.
Yeah, but it's not good depth.
Now, let me land. Let me land before you go anywhere. I am not sitting here justifying the Madueke deal, but I'm saying Arsenal's transfer window could still be massively successful. We go get Gyokeres. We go get another top.
Oh, you said you're on pace to having one of your best summers.
Because it's the sheer numbers. It's the sheer numbers of key players that needed. We needed a backup keeper. We needed 2 midfielders with Jorginho and Partey leaving.
What's more important, quality or quantity?
We are getting
you are
quality.
screaming
One
quality.
second.
Yeah, but
One
these are
second.
quality
Stop.
though, Staffy.
That's bullshit. Because we are getting quality stuff.
We are getting quality.
And let me
also,
explain to you why. Because
No,
last
you're not.
season,
No, you're not.
last season,
you're not.
last
We
season, Kepa was a top 10 goalkeeper in the Premier League last season. He was a top 10 goalkeeper based off every statistic. When you go to Norgard was a captain of a Brentford side, and he played over 35 games in the league, and he's a backup for Arsenal. Zubamendi is one of the best world touted up and coming midfielders, 26 years old. Everyone in the world is looking at him, trying to get him, and Arsenal got him for 51 million, which was a bargain. Also, that's 3 players right there. Mascara, highly touted 20-year-old.
no. Egal.
20-year-old defender.
Norgard was not a good enough backup. You know
Let
that
me
as
finish,
well.
bro. 20-year-old defender, right? Then you go. Norgard's a bigger upgrade right now than Jorginho is. Jorginho can't even run defensively.
He wasn't a replacement for Jorginho, but he wasn't a replacement
for Jorginho.
But Fabrizio said he was a direct replacement for Partey.
Partey's replacement is Zubamendi. Zubamendi is the one walking into the team as the starter.
So how do you know that?
Backup. Let me finish. Then the attack. We need to go and bring in minimum a striker, which is going to be Gyokeres most likely. And already at that point, we've signed 2 difference makers in Zubamendi and what do you call it, Gyokeres. Then on top of that, if we get Eze, we got ourselves 3 difference makers. We got ourselves multiple defensive and midfield depth. And I'm coming out of this window saying, you know what? We solved a lot of our issues. We can go and challenge the league now.
But and also just to follow on from that, Thomas Partey also when Thomas Partey left Arsenal, Fabrizio came out and confirmed and said after not being able to renew TP's contract, they assessed options for Thomas Partey's replacement, and it was actually confirmed by Fabrizio and Ornstein that Norgard was a Thomas Partey replacement. So all of you that are trying to cope, including Egal, saying, "Oh no, he's a replacement for Jorginho and Jorginho is a replacement," no, that's not how it works.
1 second. No, that is how it works.
It wasn't because Egal, if Zubamendi is a Partey
You're being
replacement,
disingenuous.
okay, I have one question for you. Egal, I have one question for you. If Zubamendi is a Partey replacement, why did they sign Zubamendi and then offer 200k a week to Thomas Partey to stay?
Because they wanted to see if he would stay at the same wages.
What? But what do you mean? They wanted to replace him, but they tried to keep both.
Zubamendi was always going to be the main man. Thomas Partey, they just wanted to keep him to embed him in. They didn't offer him a 3-year deal. They offered him a 1+1.
They offered him a 1+1 as one of the highest paid midfielders in the league.
No, he's not.
200k a week is one of the highest paid midfielders in the league.
200 million doesn't make you the highest paid midfielder in the league.
One of the highest paid midfielders in the league. Go and check the stats.
Number two, Norgard is coming in and being a Jorginho replacement because Norgard is not coming in to be the starter. The starter is going to be Zubamendi. If you're saying they shifted last minute and changed to get Norgard, and that's why he's a Thomas Partey replacement, you can say, yeah, he's an alternative option based on the end of the window. But it has nothing to do with the fact that starting of last season, we had Jorginho and Partey. Starting of this season, we're going to have Norgard and Zubamendi. 2 in, 2 out.
No, I agree with you.
And guess what? The person who's coming in to replace the starter is who? It's Zubamendi.
But Egal. First of all, Jorginho was the backup.
And Norgard's the backup.
No, it's not, because that's not how it works. Because ultimately,
2 go in, 2 go out. You still have the same number.
Egal. If you look at football as in 2 players have gone, 2 players have come, you've compared the better ones and the shitter ones and said they both replaced each other. That's not factual in how it works from a footballing standpoint. Because
that's how it works. 2 go out, 2 come in.
That's to you. That's not how Arsenal viewed it. Arsenal viewed it differently. Arsenal signed Zubamendi, confirmed the signing with him, and then offered to keep Thomas Partey.
1 second. Did Thomas Partey ever sign an extension? I don't think so. Did Thomas Partey ever hear that Arsenal were actually gonna did anything ever get done? No, it didn't.
It did.
As much as there was an offer on the table,
Zubamendi was signed in March. Look, Thomas Partey knew that Zubamendi was coming in March. Okay, it was a long-term signing. Everyone knew Zubamendi was coming. Thomas Partey, if Fabrizio and Ornstein came out and said that Thomas Partey was the player Arsenal wanted to keep, Once he declined, they assessed for other options and found a direct replacement for Thomas Partey. It's confirmed by the biggest journalists.
But you want to know
He was a
something?
replacement for Zubimendi.
Maybe it was the best case scenario because then we would have a player on 100K, 200K a week who wouldn't be playing right now.
I agree. That's fine. I can agree with that. So that's
And
what I'm saying.
regardless, I don't want to be associated with that right now.
I guess, and Thomas Partey has to be out of here. It's cool, but the replacement you bring in for him, for me, is not adequate enough. Because the problem is, Egal, if Zubimendi has a tough start to the season, has a tough start to the Premier League, then what happens then?
You want to spend 70 million on a backup in Chouameni, but you're crying about second. It doesn't make sense. You're crying about spending 50 million on Madueke, but in the same breath, you're saying, well, Norgaard's not good enough. I'm sorry, bro. Pick and choose. Is Madueke 50 million justified because you want a better player? Or are you not going to say Norgaard for 10 million, a Premier League proven player who is an upgrade physically and based on the demands of the Premier League last season has played consistently in the league? Come on, bro. You can't pick and choose. Have your cake and eat it too. In one breath, you want to cuss out Arsenal for going for Nani Madueke for 50 million, but in the other breath, get mad about Norgaard, who is a quality backup for a cheap deal, which benefits us, allows us to spend more money.
But I haven't said I have a problem with Norgaard. At the end of the day, Norgaard for me, as a backup, as a player who's not going to start, is good business. So I'm fine with Norgaard. The problem that I'm saying is when people say he's a replacement for Jorginho, it was no, that's fine. It was already confirmed that he wasn't. Fabrizio and Ornstein said he was a TP replacement. But anyway, we can move forward from that. The point that I'm trying to make.
Regardless.
Yeah,
Zubimendi, if you say Zubimendi is Jorginho's replacement and you say Norgaard is Partey's replacement, Khalas, we're in the same position. We have one player who's a starter caliber, one player who's backup caliber. In the other two, we have one player who's a starter caliber, another player who's a backup caliber. And guess what? We have saved over 180 million pounds in the process.
No, I agree, but I think where I disagree with Staffy.
No, 180 million K in the process a week.
How can I disagree, man? I haven't spoken in like 30 minutes. I don't even remember what I said for you to disagree.
No, Staffy, I remember because you said that you said all the players that we've signed have been backups. We signed a backup to except for Zubimendi. The point that I'm saying is that people need to understand your backup can never be as good as your starter at the end of the day. I know people in this ideal world want to have two world-class players in every position competing with each other. It's not how football works. No. But you said all we've signed, I can quote you exactly what you said. You said all we've signed so far, barring Zubimendi, is a backup keeper, a backup centre-back, and a backup winger, if we do sign Madueke, barring Zubimendi, and a backup DM. And you've said it's lazy recruitment. I don't think it's lazy recruitment. I think it's smart recruitment. When you're signing backups, as long as they're cheap, they've got experience, they're documented professionals playing for their clubs, I don't think they can ever be lazy recruitment. Like at the end of the day, you can't be having world-class players in every position. Because the best players...
That's not what I said, though. You don't have to sign world-class players in every position. You can sign players with a higher ceiling. You can sign players with potential. So when they come in and they play in that role, I'll give you an example. Look at City's type of signings. We look at the signings that they made and we can't even name their starting 11. You know why? Because we don't know who's going to start in the midfield. We don't know who's going to be starting on the wings.
That's the only example you have. It's the only example. City's the only example in the Premier League.
I already used that example before. I said they sign in Wirtz and automatically that makes Szoboszlai a backup. Szoboszlai is good enough to start for most teams in the league, like 90% of them. But they made their starters become backups.
Okay. And Staffy, we need a backup keeper. Okay, Staffy, we need a backup keeper.
The goalkeeper. We can ignore the goalkeeper.
Okay, fine.
Aren't we doing that? Yeah. 1 second.
I said ignore the goalkeeper.
Are we doing that with Havertz? Aren't we doing that with some of the players?
Why are we talking about Havertz? I'm talking about this summer. This summer, you are not signing anyone where I'm looking at and I'm like, you know what? This guy could potentially take This guy could potentially take Odegaard's position at some point. This guy can potentially. I don't think anyone could overtake Saliba and Gabriel, but I'm like, you know what? It's maybe at least similar quality. Where
similar when one quality to Saliba and Gabriel.
Let me finish.
I don't see that in most of your positions again. That's not how you
recruit
as a big
Just simply responding to the point, you are right.
Is this the team that's going to compete with us?
Staffy's right, but you know what Staffy's doing? He's doing the here and now argument. Bro, the window's not even
about this summer window we got. What do you want me to talk about? That stuff 5 years.
No, that's not the topic. You're doing this thing again. It's like me saying Manchester United, as they're constructed right now, still haven't improved because they've only signed one player. You're going to sign more players.
Club, man. Stop bringing that club every time I speak about
but you're going to sign more players. You're gonna sign more players. That's my
Who
thing.
cares? I don't care for that club, bro.
Yeah,
Consider
but
me
Lewin.
an unrestricted free agent, bro.
Arsenal, we
I'm
know.
taking that the United
One
shit
second,
behind me, so no one talks about it.
Arsenal is going to sign minimum 2 more difference makers in the final
No,
third.
you don't know that, Egal. Stop telling me that's
We
going
do
to
know
happen
that,
when it doesn't
because
happen.
we
are.
You sit here
That's
and you
true.
complain
We
about
do know
Fabrizio
that.
saying shit that didn't happen. Yeah, you
Okay,
want me
one
to
second,
believe
one
shit.
second.
We
Let me-
are.
let me-
It's
Wait, wait,
already.
wait, wait.
We're on pace.
Guys,
We're
one
on
second.
pace to sign.
One
2 more
second,
difference makers.
Solz. 1 second. Let me speak. Look, here's the thing.
Time
Staffy's
cancel the
100%
stream. We're not going to
First
talk
of all,
about what
listening
happened.
to this,
We're just going to
Staffy's
talk from now
100%
on until
right.
the end of the summer as if these guys signed Eze and Rodrygo. And
Yeah.
Gyokeres.
Let me.
There's no point in
This
doing
is the problem.
streams.
I agree with Staffy completely. Staffy's 100% right. Guys, by the way, we're not even at 500 likes yet. 1,600 people are in the building. Like the video and have some shame and some decorum.
How am I
First of all, listening to Solz and Egal argue, and I'm just thinking in my head, this is the team that we're going to come up against in the title race. Make me laugh now. Like I'm even more relaxed now than ever. Hey, Liverpool fans on the chat, whoever we sign, whether it be Isak, Ekitike, Rodrygo, Eze, Adi, anyone, Malik Fofana, Staffy TV, we can sign anyone. Don't worry, guys. We are good over here. You get me? Don't worry. Liverpool Football Club is good. That's number one. Number two, I want to say this. Staffy is 100% correct. Solz saying stuff like bench players are, of course, lower quality than starters. I agree with this. Because if we were to sign backup for Salah, of course he cannot be as good as Salah because it doesn't exist. If you want to sign backup for Rice, he can't be as good as Rice. This is correct. But the problem is that Arsenal fans keep talking like Eze and Rodrygo is already done. Like one of them is 100% gonna sign, and like both of them are gonna sign. And Ornstein said, here's what Ornstein reported. Ornstein reported Arsenal are gonna sign 3 forwards: Gyokeres, Madueke, and now you're looking at a third one. It's either gonna be Eze or it's going to be Rodrygo. It's gonna be one of the two. Or there's a possible scenario where it's neither nor, and you sign a third player that maybe hasn't been reported in the media yet.
And that's excellent.
Now, if the scenario that Solz is mentioning, which is actually the same scenario that Sad is mentioning, which is we paid 50 million, so he's going to be the starting left winger, Madueke, that is, then it's going to be a disaster at Arsenal. It's going to be an absolute disaster at Arsenal if he starts at the team. I'm looking at this whole Arsenal situation right now, and I don't think we can judge the whole transfer window, but Staffy's 100% right. It is lazy. It's completely lazy. Getting Madueke makes no positive difference to Arsenal whatsoever.
Is Madueke lazy or the recruitment lazy?
Regardless of price. People keep talking price this, price that. Regardless of price, it does not make a difference to Arsenal Football Club. It does not improve Arsenal Football Club. It doesn't take Arsenal Football Club that extra step, that extra mile. Noni Madueke scored 4 goals against Wolverhampton Wanderers. He had a game where he was unbelievable. The other 31 games, he scored 3 goals. He averages 1 goal every 10 games.
Yeah, Hassan, hold on.
Number 2, is Noni Madueke a player I can bring off the bench to make a difference? No, because he doesn't have that clutch gene in him. He doesn't have, like, he's not even like a Divock Origi, And by the way, if Arsenal signed Anthony Elanga, it makes more sense. I'll tell you why. Let's say Arsenal are getting attacked, they're 1-0 up, blah, blah, blah. You could put Elanga at halfway line and tell him, run him behind. And Elanga could get you a counter-attack goal. He at least has that goal-scoring ability. He can do something different. The problem I have with this whole conversation is Madueke brings nothing to Arsenal. Absolutely nothing.
No, I disagree. Let me come in here. I actually don't hate Madueke as a player like a lot of people do. I don't think he's that bad. I don't think he's anything amazing, but I don't think he's that bad. When you judge Madueke by goal scoring, I think it's a little bit already disingenuous because not every attacker is a high goal scorer. He is a specialist at something that Arsenal don't have. They don't have a lot of wingers that are a good 1v1. He is a 1v1 specialist. He's one of the few in the league, like him, Doku. We always talk about their end product not being there, but he's in for a specific job. I am not angry at Arsenal for trying to get a winger that is a little bit different than what Saka does, what Martinelli does, what Trossard does. That is not the incorrect approach. The incorrect approach is there is a lot of 1v1 wingers across of Europe. You just went to the one that plays for your rival, and that's going to cost you double the price. So I'm not mad at Madueke, the player. I think he'd be decent for most teams, But for fuck's sake, man, Malik Fofana could cost about 20 million. And he's the amazing 1v1. He cooked United in that Europa League semi-final.
Name one
thing Madueke does that Traore doesn't on a real level. What does Traore do that Madueke can't? Or the reverse?
They do the same thing.
What does Madueke do more than Traore? I think he's a little bit better 1v1 than Traore. I think Traore, I'm not going to lie. If he didn't have blonde hair and he was jacked like a bodybuilder, we wouldn't be talking about. I think he's absolutely shit.
My point is
better than him.
My point is, Staffy, is if you're looking at a winger who dribbles, how many wingers in world football can dribble? How many?
That's my point.
Millions and millions.
No, but then Hussam, but then you agree with us.
What happened to Arsenal scouting?
Hussam, what Staffy's saying is correct. You could get better 1v1 wingers, better 1v1 specialists that would cost less. So ultimately, it's down to the price.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying as well.
No, but then it's down to the price. Okay, but then how are you quantifying his ceiling, Staffy?
That's a great question. This is a very subjective question that you just asked. So a lot of it, I'm not going to lie, comes down to eye test and how much you watch a player. I look at Madueke and I honestly believe if he can just put a decent cross into the box, the 50 million will be justified. My issue with him is that after he'll beat a defender, he'll get in a good area and he wouldn't do the right final third action. That is something that a player could improve. So you can actually look at a player and be like, you know what? We spent 50 million on him because we believe under us when he joined us, he can actually take his game to the next level and start giving a little bit more output because he already does something very excellent. He just doesn't have the end product. And the end product isn't just goals and assists. It's just being effective in the final third and having final third actions. I think that's one thing Madueke lacks. I look at him. I watched him in person twice already. I watched him 2 days ago and I watched him 2 weeks ago. He's amazing 1v1. I'm not going to lie. Every time he runs at a defender, he's just about to snatch someone's ankles. It's just after that, I feel like the control disconnects. His brain just dies and the ball runs out of play and there's nothing there. Do I look at him based on what I've seen over the last 2 years and I'm like, he is someone that is guaranteed to take his game to the next level so the 50 million is worth it? I don't think so. Someone like Malik Fofana, I feel like he's so good and is so rapid and good 1v1. You look at him, can he add a little bit to his game? I think he can. The beauty about it is that it would have been a lot less risky to do that move because he's coming from France and it would have cost you about 20 to 25 million. For fuck's sake, Shirky's better than him and he barely cost 30. So he would have been at least 10 million less than him. This is why I say it's lazy recruitment. Too many of our clubs make these moves where you're guaranteed, I'm just going to bring him in and he's a backup. No one is going to complain. Everyone knows what his ceiling is, but you don't want to go for the cheaper player who actually comes from somewhere else and actually can have a higher ceiling. You don't know if Malik Fofana could come in and eventually displace Martinelli.
By the way, Staffy just mentioned Shirky, just so you guys know.
But that's what you should be aiming for.
Staffy just mentioned Shirky. If Arsenal got Shirky as backup to Saka, he could have also been backup to Odegaard at the same time. For
Shirky would actually cost more than Madueke because of his contract. Madueke's contract is the main reason why.
I compared Shirky to Malik Fofana because both of them came from Lyon.
Okay. Yes, that makes sense.
So
I'm just saying.
So if Arsenal went and signed, how much is Leverkusen signing Bakayoko for? What is it? 25 million, 30 million?
Whatever, I don't know. All I know is Arsenal, the benefit that they view the whole Madueke deal is because he's on such cheap wages at Chelsea and he'd be willing to stay on the same wages. Now, I don't think that justifies paying more money in the transfer fee because he's taking less wages. But it's reported he's going to be on 50K a week, which is going to make him one of our lowest earners at the club in the first team.
But Egal, that's my worry actually, because if we get him 50K a week, that's what makes me feel like he was a replacement for Rodrygo, because Rodrygo's going to ask for at least 350K a week. So maybe Arsenal thought, you know what, we can't justify those wages. So let's find someone. Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. I personally think it's a situation where Arsenal is going to end up with Eze and Madueke.
Same, I agree.
And I think that's going to be the alternative to us getting Rodrygo.
Hold on, why are you laughing? Hold on. First of all, I want to say one thing. Yeah, I'm sorry. If Arsenal end the window with Mascara, Zubamendi, Norgard, Eze, Madueke, and Gyokeres, that's one of our best windows in the last decade.
Gyokeres, Madueke, Eze. Let's go, mate.
Yeah, but but Hussam, Gyokeres, Madueke, Eze, Zubamendi, Norgard, and Mascara.
Shiverman Timbers. Shut up, man.
Bro.
No.
Jesus.
Yalla, habibi, yalla, bro, yalla.
Once again. It's not Madueke, Gyokeres,
My
and
feet are so kicked up. I'm so relaxed.
Jesus is still there. Havertz is still there. Bukayo Saka is still there. Martinelli's still there.
Hey, Liverpool fans, number 21 is coming. Let's go.
But you know what? No. But Egal, you know Hussam is so shameless.
Our
You know
squad
Hussam
depth
is-
in the attack is
No,
going to be
but
better than
listen,
yours.
Do you want me to see why Hussam is shameless, Egal? Because you know Hussam, he wants to find the player to troll.
You're on
Arsenal.
mute, Staffy.
Do you know what he did at the start?
You're
That
on
most
mute.
sense he made all stream.
No. Yeah. I think he's talking on.
You're
another
on
stream.
mute.
You're
Are
talking
you on?
sense, Staffy.
Are you on Twitter Spaces?
You're on mute.
You're talking sense, Staffy. We can hear you.
Oh,
Alright,
when did I go on mute?
Staffy,
I'm
I
so
agree with
angry
you.
now.
I
I lost my
completely
shit.
agree. I completely agree, Staffy.
I said stop comparing yourself to me, Egal. I am not the benchmark. I finished
I'm
15th.
comparing myself to Liverpool, not you.
No, Liverpool. No.
You
but
said
Hussam,
when I was
but
speaking, so I assumed you're talking to me. I'm like, don't compare yourself to me. I'm shit.
Shall I tell you why Hussam is shameless? Because you know Hussam, if you watch his change for
I can't believe I was just shouting for
on
nothing.
2-3 weeks, he was coming on every show going, Sesko. And he was laughing at Arsenal for getting Sesko. Now Sesko is not going to happen and we're getting Gyokeres. He's now going, okay, he didn't speak about how Gyokeres is an amazing side. Now he's moving on to the next guy to joke around with. Madueke.
But Ornstein Bumba, look at this. Wallahi, bro, they're putting you guys to shame. Tottenham Hotspur turning attention to Nottingham's Forest midfielder Morgan Gibbs-White. Head coach Thomas Frank, long-term admirer of the 25-year-old, Spurs will try to convince the England international to join if a deal can be agreed. They are going for Kudus and Gibbs-White, and you're going for Madueke.
Okay. While you're at that, 1 second. In the same minute, there's a report that Doc tweeted that Arsenal retained their interest in Rodrygo and Madrid await a decision on if we submit a bid.
Reported that? I'm sorry.
This is from a Brazilian guy.
Brazilian
sad sources.
You told me Brazilian.
You want me to show you? Let me screen share.
Oh, Egal, it's the same thing.
I don't want to believe fucking Fabrizio when he says 50 mil, but I'm supposed to believe whoever from the favelas you're talking about. Who is this guy?
Bro, this is a big account. This is a big account.
Andre Hanan is reputable. He is.
This is a big account, bro.
And I'm supposed to know who he is.
Sad knows him.
Okay. Before
this is a joke to you.
Sad knows him.
This is a joke to you.
2.8
million.
For no reason. 1 second, before we shout for no reason. What does it even say? Arsenal retain interest in Rodrygo. Well, we know this already.
No, but why? But
how's this breaking news? We already know this. If Arsenal signed Rodrygo,
it's happening in the background. Shit's happening in the background while we're getting rage baited by journalists. Shit's happening in the background that we don't.
No one's rage baiting you. Ornstein and Fabrizio said it.
Listen, David Ornstein hasn't said anything rage baiting. Fabrizio has definitely been rage baiting. Man's been tweeting the same nonsense every day for 4 days straight, not even updating us at all.
The problem is Fabrizio cooked you, and you still haven't learned.
Fabrizio has not learned. He has turned transfer news into an he has turned transfer news into a thesaurus. That's what he's done. He's found new words to change things every single day. Nothing changes. Every single day changes one word, replaces it with another word, opens his thesaurus every morning. That's what he does. Big up to Fabrizio. Don't get me wrong. He's a good journalist. But what he's doing sometimes, he's not giving us major updates. He's rephrasing it in a way that it sounds like it's a major update or something's changed. But if you actually read what he said, nothing has changed. The same old Nani Madueke and Arsenal are in talks. 50 million is the target that Chelsea want. Arsenal might be considering a bid soon. Arsenal might be considering a conversation. Arsenal, our initial £50 million bid. Nothing has actually happened. There's no official bid. David Ornstein hasn't reported it. Nobody else has reported a bid has come in. Basically, he's saying they're having discussions around this figure. And where did you get that figure from? Nobody knows.
No, I agree. So I think we need to wait and see what's going to happen.
This copium is unbelievable.
No, it's not copium.
How can you call Fabrizio a Chelsea mouthpiece and then deny what he says about the Chelsea deal?
No, because it is from the Chelsea side. It's not the actual fact. There's two stories, and he's telling one. Wait, there's three stories. There's three stories. There's the Chelsea side, there's the Arsenal side, and then there's the truth. And I don't know, and I know which side he's telling.
No. He
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm not saying he's lying.
You just said you think he's going to be less than 50 mil, so that's you indirectly calling him a liar.
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm saying he's saying one side of the story.
Fabrizio Romano has tweeted 4 times in 5 days about Nani to Arsenal with no real updates. Smoke screen anyone? And then Fabrizio replies, now you'll trust the news, mate, since last week. Let's see what happens in club-to-club talks.
Yeah, Egal, going for Fabrizio one-on-one is crazy. Egal,
Fabrizio
going for
himself
Fabrizio
responded to Egal.
I didn't
Egal
add him.
versus Fabrizio.
I didn't add
He
him.
goes on YouTube and
No.
lies.
Listen, I didn't
The guy
add him.
got
If I added
contact.
him, it would be a different story. The man went out of his way to go find that tweet. Fair play. Listen, I don't care what anybody tells me. There is people who, if I hear a report from Portugal, I know they're getting briefed by Sporting. If I hear a report,
Okay, no problem. Wait. Wait. You just said report from the home country. ESPN Brazil reported Liverpool are contacting Rodrygo. Now what?
El Nasser and El Qadsi are in for Rodrygo. What does that mean?
Liverpool are not idiots. There is a player available that fills a slot in their team, but guess what? Will Liverpool pay the 300k a week? Let's see. That's the real question.
Will you pay the 300k?
We have money now, brother.
Arsenal is willing to make him the most expensive player at the club.
But I don't think they're willing to pay him that much money. This is what Arsenal's problem is, because we are.
Yeah, and we didn't think that you're willing to pay 50 for Madueke.
But this is but
Don't worry,
Leave it more. He didn't waste
No,
50
only
million on
Fabrizio
Madueke.
thinks we're willing to do that.
No, but
Okay, can I
Hussam,
ask
we don't
you
know.
1 second.
No,
How much
bro.
does Norgard cost? How much does Norgard cost?
10 million with 2 add-ons. Yes.
How much Kepa cost?
9.5.
5 million.
So Norgard and Kepa 5 million. Madueke is 50, so that's 65 million on Madueke, Norgard, and Kepa.
Yes.
Include 20
And that's
include
only
20 million for mascara.
and that's only inflated because of.
Oh, with Mosquera, it's like 90 million.
Okay, that's
No,
fine, but
mascara's 20.
20 million euros. But obviously now it's
Yeah,
been
that's what I just
So that's
said.
15 million pounds.
50 million pounds.
90
But
million
anyway,
total.
the point is that's
Why are
only
you making up numbers?
because of the Madueke.
Why are you removing add-ons? You put add-ons on Vert. Now put
because
add-ons on Arsenal.
No,
players.
because addons are based on metrics.
One second.
Add-ons are based on
No, Solz. This is from a previous debate. I don't put add-ons.
Are you including Zubimendi or not?
No, I'm not including Zubimendi because Zubimendi
Okay,
is
so where did you get 60 million from?
You see why Staffy was cooking
Are
when
you including Nani?
You're
the team.
the problem is let me just say this. I want to say something about Staffy. Everyone here knows no one on the planet hates to do Staffy prop more than me. No one hates to do Hussam prop more than Staffy. Everyone knows this. But everything he just said, like when he first
more than you, why?
No, but it's true. When he started speaking, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, this is a United fan. The fuck does he know?" But everything he said is true because you just spent all this money on bench players. What when he's asking you quality or quantity? Hello, imagine you took that 65 million and went and signed a serious difference maker with that money instead of these 4 randomers.
No, but don't compare all 4 randomers because one of them is inflated in cost. The others are good business. Kepa for 5 million. Mosquera.
I disagree once again because you're talking about business.
That's
Put
fine,
business to the okay. 1 second, Solz, step by step. So you're saying Kepa's good business. God forbid we don't know what happens with injuries. Alisson was out for a month this season. We don't know. So let's say quarterfinal of Champions League, away at Madrid, away at PSG, away at Atletico. You trust Kepa?
Yes, I trust him because he's a good
Okay,
keeper.
khalas, you trust him. Me personally, I wouldn't.
Okay, but then
So we have a fundamental difference.
Stop. Hold on, I have a question.
Argument falls apart.
Price does not everything, by the way. You know the difference.
Hussam, I have a question for you. What keeper can you get for under 10 million pounds as a backup keeper that's willing to sit on the bench that's good enough to start in a Champions League quarterfinal?
Who gives a fuck about Kepa? He doesn't even help you with the homegrown
Brother,
quota.
can you answer the question? Which one?
Yeah, I'll answer the question.
Yeah, go on.
Your question is a straw man question because
There we go. You can answer it.
Let me answer. It doesn't have to be less than 10 million pounds. Who told you? Who made this rule?
We need money for other signings.
Oh, clearly. For Madueke. That's what you need your money for, right?
Would you have spent 25?
We need money.
Would you have spent?
We need money.
Would you have spent 25 million euros on Joe Garcia?
Yes, I would have. Because a backup goalkeeper is a seriously important thing. You want to know? You want proof in the pudding? Watch last two Premier League champions, right? People are laughing at this. I promise you, Everyone in the chat, you are all my witnesses, and so is Staffy for these two little frauds right here. I'll tell you exactly what happens. If God forbid, inshallah, no one gets injured from any football team, the whole season, no one gets injured. If God forbid Raya's out for a month, and Kepa has to like play 3 games, and he cost Arsenal in those 3 games, I promise you this will be the excuse next season. That's number 1. Number 2, look at the last 2 Premier League champions. One of them had Kelleher as backup. The other one had Ortega as backup. Ortega saved the 1-on-1 from Son that literally made City Premier League champions. Kelleher saved the penalty from Mbappe in a Champions League group stage important game and played against Manchester City. Kelleher. You look once again now, Kelleher left. Mamardashvili is now the Liverpool backup. Ortega's the City backup. Both of them trustworthy, experienced, and everything. With all due respect to Kepa, let me just say this because people might not know the facts. I will present the facts because people keep saying 5 million. Fuck the price. Let's talk about the player. Kepa went to Real Madrid to be backup goalkeeper to Courtois. Courtois got injured and Lunin started ahead of him.
That's fine.
The reason why Lunin has a career is Kepa Arrizabalaga.
That's fine, but the point is, Hussam, you can't say, oh, Kepa's not good enough because imagine there's a Champions League quarterfinal. Look, we can't ever predict injuries. If that happens, whatever happens, happens. What happens if Zubimendi gets injured against Real Madrid in a big semi-final? God
forbid, Alisson gets injured with Mamardashvili, I'm good.
Hussam.
But this is playing bench players.
Okay, forget what I said.
If Luis Diaz gets injured,
I promise I'm going to mute my mic. Watch this, yeah? This is a United fan, I think, Duarte Garcia. He also watches on the terrace. There's not the super chat section or anything, but he's addressing you. Just listen to his point. You're trying to catch Liverpool. Liverpool's backup was Kelleher, now Mamardashvili. Miles above Kepa, end of discussion. Do you get what I'm saying?
Based on what?
Based on everything.
This is a little bit disingenuous.
Every skill metric, Mamardashvili is better.
That's rubbish. Okay, fine. Look. So Sam, you cannot predict backups and you cannot predict injuries in football. At the end of the day, if we have a big semi-final against Bayern Munich and Zubimendi's injured, we have to play Norgard. If Saka's injured in a big semi-final, we have to play Madueke or Nwaneri. At the end of the day, if your first team players get injured, your backups have to come in. Any player that's willing to come into a club and sit on a bench and be a backup for a player that always starts is always going to be a player that's a lower level than the player that's starting. That's how it works.
Mamardashvili is a lower level than Alisson, but he's a higher level than Kepa, and that's the point.
He's not high level than Kepa, and you know he's not. That's just copium. Listen to me.
Who's better, Norgard or Curtis Jones?
They're both different players. One's a DM.
They're both
different players. Hussam. When you're a football club, you have a budget. You have a budget for how much money you can spend in a window based on player sales and money that you have, net spend. Okay. Arsenal Football Club knew coming into the window they need a keeper, a backup centre back, a DM, a backup DM, and 3 attackers.
Hello, and a backup right winger. No problem.
Wait. So they need about 7, 8.
So everything we just said is true about Madueke.
9 players they need.
Okay.
Ultimately, if you're saying go and spend 25 million on a backup keeper, you have to understand that it's easy to throw numbers out there and say buy a keeper. When Arsenal signed David Raya for £30 million and Ramsdale was already starting for Arsenal, we knew that spending £30 million on Raya means that he was going to start for Arsenal. We knew that. Not because of how good Raya was, but because of his price tag. So ultimately, the price matters. £5 million for a Prem-proven keeper that just came off a very good season for Bournemouth. You can never laugh at that signing.
Okay, no problem. I'll use your own logic. Hello? Flecken is Premier League proven. He went to Bayer Leverkusen. How much would a Flecken cost you? You want to know how much Leverkusen paid for Flecken? 15 million euros.
Okay.
Right, that's what, 12 million pounds? Levels above cap.
Ball playing ability. You need to be able to play with the ball at your feet at Arsenal if you're going to be a keeper. And Kepa is good at that.
He's backup goalkeeper, which means in your narrative,
Kepa's going to play in the cup games.
He's going to be playing cup competitions. Okay, so you need Flecken to play out from the back against Stockport and Derby County and Bolton.
We play how we play, regardless who's in the team.
Yeah. Khalas, you're completely coping, both of you.
Sam, you're being
using both of your logic. Let me just say something to you.
Sam, let me use your logic.
better pray
Let me use
that
your logic.
Liverpool refuse to sell
Let me
Diaz.
use your
If
logic.
we
Let me
sell
use.
Diaz and we buy Rodrygo, it's
Oh
fucking
my
over for you, bro.
goodness, bro. We are not your club. Okay, understand. We do things differently. We don't do things as
European
logical
royalty.
as you do, I guess, right?
We do things always
Yeah.
doing things.
So what you got to understand is
And here
Arsenal
away,
Football
oh
Club.
my god, I can't believe you just
Arsenal
said
Football Club
this.
need a backup center back.
Elect,
We're
you're
going to
not
get.
elect.
We're going to go get an up and coming 20-year-old center back. We need a backup keeper. We went for a good keeper. We got priced out last year. We didn't go back in for him this year. We ended up finding Kepa for 5 million. So we signed Kepa for 5
It's
million.
good business. It's
No,
good business.
Norgard for 9.5 million. If you include add-ons or whatever you want to say, I don't know how much it is. I forget. Is it 10 or 15? What is it?
No, it's 10 with 2 million add-ons. That was the confirmed. Yeah, that was the confirmed.
Say if you want to say Norgard for 12 million, I think that's a decent.
I mean, I agree with you on Norgard.
signing.
I agree.
Now where everyone is saying if Arsenal finish the window with no striker, no midfield, no attacking
No,
midfield,
now you're going extreme.
then you can say we've had a shit window.
No, that's
If
not me.
If Arsenal only sign Gyokeres and they don't get Madueke and they don't get Eze and they don't get Rodrygo, you can say we've had a bad window still. The only way I think this window can come out and be a positive is if we bring in Rodrygo or Eze or both. And regardless of if we sign Madueke for 50 million or not, if I bring in from now on to the rest of the window, if I bring in Mascara, Gyokeres, and one of Eze or Rodrygo, my window has been successful.
Yeah, it's been a good window. It does matter. Yeah.
Okay, let me give you both a very plausible scenario. Guys, you have 1,700 people in here. We're not even at 500 likes. Have some shame. Actually, have some shame. All this arguments and debates, you can't even like the video. Close the live chat and hit the like button, you bunch of frauds. Number one. Number two, let me give you both a very plausible scenario. Now, from now until August, Arsenal signed 3 more players. Rodrygo, Eze, Gyokeres, and Madueke. Khalas, now window ends.
Mosquera?
You can say Al Mosquera, I don't care about that.
Because we're going to make sales, and he's going to be like 20.
Okay, yeah, but here's the thing. If we're talking about sales, let's say very plausible scenario, and Wanere goes to Chelsea, blah, 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 like whoever. Let's say you sign Eze. Okay, Egal. Let's say you sign Eze, and one of Trossard or Martinelli goes. Okay. One of them, not both.
Trossard to Fenerbahce.
I actually think it might be Martinelli that goes. But anyway, regardless.
Martinelli has no suitors that are willing to pay the 50+ million.
Okay, so whoever. Okay, so you sell the players that you sell, you sign those for. Are you happy with the window?
Yes.
Yeah. If we bring in Eze, Gyokeres, what do you call it? Madueke, Zubimendi, Norgard, Kepa, and Mascara. And who else did I miss?
That's it.
7 players. That's Arsenal improving their team by bringing in 7 players.
But the key is Egal. Because I think realistically we're going to get Gyokeres and Madueke now. I think realistically we have to accept it. Okay. The key here becomes once we sign Madueke, you have to get either Rodrygo or Eze. If neither of them two come in, it cancels it out. And then the window for me, even though it's still an improvement, it's not a very good window overall. Because ultimately, if Madueke is your only attacking signing, barring a striker, for me, it's very poor business. Because Eze, and it's already been documented that Morgan Rogers was an option for Arsenal. Eze was an option. Rodrygo was an option. And Madueke is an option.
Oh, yo, update. Arsenal are in talks with Chelsea to make a 40+ bid for Chelsea's Nani Madueke from John Cross. So 40+, not the 50.
From who?
For John Cross.
Yeah, John Cross reliable. He's reliable.
He's from the Mirror.
Staffy's doing a VAR check on it. Staffy, he's reliable.
No, because I didn't get any notifications. So I'm like, who updated? I don't even
Cross, know. And the same John Cross. And the same John Cross has said that Arsenal in the last 48 hours pulled off.
Even then, Egal, even 40 million is not good.
Nothing tweeted by John Cross. Who told you this?
John Cross reported it. I can show you. You want me to screen share?
Yeah, share screen.
Right, this is VAR check, boy.
I got different notifications than you do,
like
bro.
The way he screamed, update. I thought all right, this is a big tweet. Bro said John Cross.
Yeah, you don't know who John Cross is? 330
million plus for Chelsea's Madueke, man. It's the same shit, Egal.
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's without add-ons. It's 40
That's
million
without-
pounds.
That's not add-ons, man. It's like the same thing what Fabrizio said. So this could be 45 plus 5. Same shit.
No,
It doesn't
Fabrizio
matter
said
if it's
50.
45 or
Fabrizio said
50. Whatever the hell it is, it's still too much for
Regardless, it's too much money, but you better bring me Eze. Listen, if we don't end the window, with Eze or Rodrygo, you know what? Why are we even getting Madueke? Just get me Rodrygo and Eze in the first place.
That's it. But,
No,
but again,
it's
Egal,
fine,
that's
like-
the ideal scenario. That's why for me, if we would have got
Madueke
Eza,
is a great backup.
bro,
Really
if we would have got if we would have got Eza and Rodrygo, I would have been happy. If we would have got Rodrygo only without Eze and
I'll still be happy.
I'd still be happy. Do you know what I mean? So the point is, everyone knows our target is Rodrygo and or Eza.
You know what's going to happen, right? This is going to be a situation where Arsenal Football Club are going to be continuously rage baited until the deal is either done or we move on.
Yeah.
And I hope and pray Chelsea stick to their 55 million valuation, and I hope Arsenal don't pay it. Because my worry is Chelsea stick to their valuation and our dumbass pays it. I would be really scared of that.
Big up Rodrygo as well. Real Madrid are open to let Rodrygo leave. The final decision's on the player. So listen, man, everyone put their projects forward. And I'm telling you now, my biggest problem with Rodrygo...
The best option for him is Liverpool. Let's not lie to ourselves.
No, it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool. But the problem is, I don't know...
Hey, Egal makes good point. 1 hour and 12 minutes.
No, don't dance because I don't know... But Hussam, I don't know if you guys are willing to pay $350 a week salary.
I don't think they are. You know what the best... If he comes to the Premier League, the one club that
Liverpool have money. We have money.
I think Arsenal's a better option for him than Liverpool. Arsenal's a better option. But Hussam, Arsenal's a better option.
If he goes to Chelsea,
Yes.
I think he flops. I think if he goes to Man City, I think he'll struggle to acclimatize to the way that they play. I think if he goes to Liverpool, he becomes a demon.
But a demon. But in terms of projects, Egal, Arsenal's a better project.
No, it's not. Not than Liverpool. Bro, let's not delude ourselves. Liverpool is the better place.
He is. If we get Gyokeres and we got Saka on the right, Rodrygo on the left, we got up and coming young midfielders.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We can become a star at Arsenal.
It doesn't matter what we do this summer. Liverpool just came off the Premier League title and they signed one of the most expensive players in the world. They are currently the hot property in world football.
Okay, without even Egal saying anything, Mr. Solz, clearly today, maybe you have too much in the lunch break. You get me? Maybe you ate a bit too much.
Don't say it.
There's clearly something in the murattabat you ate today because it's not normal.
When Saad said Isak would rather go to Liverpool, I agree.
This guy went to the murattabat and he bought one Ainawi and he has a sugar rush and his brain is not working. Habibi, Liverpool.
First of all, the sweets are here.
Liverpool, as things stand, are Premier League champions. We just signed Florian Wirtz. We got McAllister, Gravenberg. We got Szoboszlai in the midfield. We got Salah. We're going to sign a striker. We have Virgil van Dijk. We have players like this. Bro, when you're talking about project, have some shame and don't compare your project to mine. Because my project in the last 5 years have resulted in 2 Premier League titles, 2 Carabao Cups, an FA Cup, a Club World Cup, and a UEFA Super Cup. Literally in the last 5 years.
Look, well done
and on top of this, Arne Slot is here, who has won a league title not with one of the top clubs. We won it with Feyenoord. Came to Liverpool 1 year after. No one about Liverpool.
Sam, I already said.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks so much. Exactly, JJ Ash.
Sam, I've already said.
That's what he just did. He ate a lot of laqanak
I already said on multiple streams that Isak would obviously choose Liverpool over Arsenal if they both went in for him, right? Because ultimately, I think Isak would suit Liverpool. I think as a left winger, he could come in and be a star for Arsenal. I genuinely think so. We have a younger right winger. You guys have a lot of aging players though. Bear that in mind, Hussam. Salah's getting old. Van Dijk's getting old.
Do you think Rodrygo gives a fuck?
Old. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in terms of long.
The only benefit we have is we have had further discussions with Rodrygo's camp than Liverpool. That's it. At this moment in time, we've gotten there first. Does that mean it's going to help us get over the line?
No,
we
it
don't know. But
No,
I'm not going to sit here and act like Liverpool don't have money. They clearly can spend money. The only two questions I have is, will Rodrygo will Liverpool be willing to pay the wages for Rodrygo?
That's the problem.
Because they don't necessarily always pay the most wages.
Here's how Liverpool wages work. Let me tell you both, because you guys are unaware of Liverpool project. So I'll explain. This is how Liverpool wages work. Yes, the base might be low, but the incentives are very high. There are Liverpool players who ended up, when we won the Premier League, there are Liverpool players who ended up earning up to 450, 500 grand a week. Like Salah, right? You will go to Google and you'll check, how much does Salah earn? It'll pop up 350 grand a week. But because of all the goals he scored and because of us being successful, Salah earned close to like 550, 600 grand a week. You get it? So when you're talking about wages, Liverpool wages are extremely highly incentivized. Like you win trophies and you score goals and you do this, you get a lot of money.
Let me rebuttal though. He has made it clear if he was to come to Arsenal, he would want in the region of what Kai Havertz is making base. So 200.
Yeah, okay, no problem. But I'll give you an example.
Florian Wirtz 280k.
Florian Wirtz is earning 200 grand a week. You can tell Rodrygo, listen, your base salary will be 200 grand a week, but we're going to give you a goals bonus.
Why would he take a pay deduction from what he's currently on?
The Champions League bonus, all of this.
Why would he take a deduction to what he's currently making? Almost.
Yeah, 100%. And if we don't
knows, okay, that's a very good question. I have a very simple answer to it. The reason why he take a deduction is if he wants to move to the English Premier League, he knows that clubs aren't willing to pay him as much as Real Madrid. If watch this, and I give you a genuine, honest answer to this. If his focus was mainly wages, he should pack his bags and head to Bayern Munich. Because if there is one club in Europe who could match his wages and probably increase it, it's Bayern. Done. Easy answer. No problem. But he says focus is Premier League, and in the Premier League, you're going to have to earn less wages. Whether it be us, or City, or you, or even Chelsea, he's going to have to earn less wages.
Let me say this. If he ends up at Manchester City or Chelsea, I'm sitting my feet up, I'm comfy.
Yeah.
Because I know at Chelsea, I don't think he's going to be as much of a threat as he would be at Liverpool. I don't think at Man City
why would he be a threat
as big of a threat as he would be at Liverpool. Because at Liverpool, they play more of a counter-attacking direct football that would suit him to a T. And he has players around him that can get better from him. At Manchester City, yes, they have Erling Haaland, but they play a little bit slower. And he has so many players around him that he's never going to consistently play as a specific left winger. He's not going to be given as much freedom. And at Chelsea, guys, Chelsea's a farm system. Chelsea have how many players who play in multiple positions? He's going to be asked to play all over the place. The most dangerous place for him where I can see his development go quick and be acclimatized quickly and be given the most freedom and the most priority is Liverpool. Arsenal and Liverpool are the two teams in world football. They have a hole in their left flank, and he walks in, and there's not as much competition as places.
You have a left winger. You're waffling.
Chelsea just signed Gittins. Chelsea have so many players that could play in that left wing.
But even more importantly,
I'm saying Liverpool's a more scary option.
Because I'm so sick of this. Sam, don't invite me on no more panels until United make us. Actually, I better not see no Man United content creators make content because of this idiot Shane. Shane thinks I work for Ineos, and we're sitting there delaying the Mbuemo deal. The fuck you want me to do about it? Should I just stay quiet the whole summer because this bum club still haven't signed anyone? The fuck you want me to do? Turn off the stream, you idiot, because I don't work with Ineos.
No, but
stop waffling.
What is a better option for Rodrygo? Stop. What is a better option for Rodrygo? Liverpool, Man City, or Chelsea? It's Liverpool.
Liverpool being better than Chelsea does not mean that he is not a good suit or a good fit for Chelsea. We're not
I'm not as
better.
fearful.
You're saying it's not a good fit at all.
No, I'm saying I'm not as worried about Rodrygo if he's at Chelsea as if I would be if he's at Liverpool. I think at Liverpool he has the perfect environment to explode.
It's
Update.
better to play with Salah and Wirtz.
I have an
but
actual
it doesn't mean
update,
that he's
genuinely.
cooking that front line.
What's
The
the
way
update?
Wirtz is using his wingers and the
There's
way
an
they
update.
maintain
What
possession
is the
on
best
him,
environment for the
amazing for him.
player? It's not Man City and Chelsea.
1 second, there's an update. The Time reports that Andrea Berta believes Arsenal are not overpaying for Noni Madueke by launching a 50 million bid. They add that he is convinced that the Chelsea
Who
star is
reported
worth
this?
the Times. They add that he is convinced that the Chelsea star is
Matt Law.
currently worth 65 million in the current market.
Matt Law. Wait. Matt Law, isn't that a Chelsea rep?
The Times.
Interesting.
Yeah, he is.
Matt
He's
Law.
He's actually
Matt
Chelsea.
Law is a joke team,
I'm
bro.
not buying
Chelsea
into
rep
any
once
of this
again.
crap.
These Chelsea reps talk like they talk
Yeah,
about my
they
manager,
crap.
my director of football.
They're
Get the hell
fucking
out of here.
Chelsea. We
These
don't
Chelsea
care.
reps
You don't
every
know what
day
you're on about.
working their
We
ass
don't
for
care
Chelsea.
about Matt Law. Matt Law
Matt
is a
Law.
scrub.
Matt
Matt
Law.
Law is a scrub. Matt Law is a scrub to be talking about Arsenal's transfers. He knows nothing. He has no contacts at Arsenal. He knows nothing. He's a scrub of a journalist.
They're talking like Matt Law. Do you even speak Italian, Matt? What are you talking about?
Exactly about Matt Law. Listen, and listen, ultimately, yeah.
What was that question?
No.
Why does
listen,
it have
I
to be
don't care.
Italian? They don't
No,
speak
you know why?
English?
No, because Saad knew that mentioning Matt Law was going to trigger us because Matt Law is a scrub. He's a Chelsea PR merchant. But anyway, what I'm saying is this, yeah. Whether we get Rodrygo or not, I agree with Egal's overall point. Rodrygo's best fits where he'll play the best football, which team plays his most suited style, and plays with the best players. It's obviously going to be the Premier League champions. But as I said, for me, his only resultable pathways for me are Liverpool or Arsenal if he really wants to succeed. I'm interested to see now with Rodrygo, what is going to happen with his wages? How money hungry is he? How much does he care about projects and winning things? Remember, this guy's already a serial winner, guys. Remember, he's not someone who's like just about to win his first trophy. He's already won a lot. So ultimately, I think he's more money motivated than people think he is. So it's going to come down to who can pay his very, very extortionately high salary. Because I think Arsenal, if we don't get Rodrygo, it's not going to be because of his targets or anything. It's going to be because of the salary. Matt Law reported good as well. He's a Chelsea PR merchant. Do your research. Everyone knows Matt Law. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knows him, but it's fine. All I'm saying is if Arsenal don't get Rodrygo, it's going to be because of his salary. It's not going to be because he wasn't a good fit.
I cannot wait. You know, honestly, I love you both. You're both my brothers, but I cannot wait for like the bomba when we finally get confirmation from Ornstein. Arsenal pay 50 million for Madueke. I just can't fucking wait because you just know deep down that your club is going to pay that. But anyway,
we don't know that for sure. We don't know that for sure. We have to wait and see because no one here works for Arsenal and no one here has serious contacts at Arsenal. So we don't know what they're going to pay.
Be careful, don't shout too much because you have football in a bit. So I want you to be focused in the game.
No, don't do that. No.
He's the left winger. You get me over here. By the way, guys, he's a professional footballer. Solz, people know this. He plays for Al Wahda. Go on Al Wahda. You'll find his real name. He plays for Al Wahda. You get me Emirati. He's gonna be in the Asian Champions League, guys. You get me? He's gonna be coming up against Al Hilal.
Check out the shared tweet.
He's gonna be playing with
the petition for Arsenal fans that don't want Noni Madueke.
I said no to Madueke. Fucking hell, these fuckers are desperate.
But guys, I want to be honest with you right now. Yeah, I'm actually being serious now. You know Madueke.
Over 2,000 people.
Egal, hold on. I have something seriously to say because with this kind of shit, it actually upsets me. And I'll tell you why. Madueke is a young guy. He's 23 years old. Yeah, he's a similar age range to some of us on the stream. Okay, he uses social. Okay, that's fine. He uses social media a lot. Okay, how do you think Noni Madueke feels logging onto Twitter every morning and seeing that every single Arsenal fan, whether you're Arteta out or Arteta in, is just slandering him from the high heavens? He's not good enough. He's shit. He's a scrub. He's that. How do you think he feels as a player that's potentially going to join a club where everybody hates him from the jump? How do you think he feels?
I don't think he gives a shit. Man's making his money. He's working for Chelsea right now. He's not an Arsenal player. He's probably laughing his ass off that these guys, that all these people are upset because we're not. He's like, you know what?
He's laughing at you as well. He saw your fan TV reaction.
Hey, as fans, if you're abusing him,
that petition, don't lie to us.
There's no need to abuse. But honestly, the only way we can get through to the club is by voicing our
I
opinion on
agree. By speaking up. By
Yeah, they
speaking
should
up.
sign that petition. No lie. That was the truth.
and if we, and as a fan base, if all the positive, negative, whatever fans are looking at it, this is the closest thing to a project defining signing that can ruin your project. If you go out and spend money which you could have used towards major upgrades, and you bring in Nani Madueke, it could definitely ruin your chances of making better signings.
100%. Especially if he's a replacement for the Rodrigos and the Ezes of the market, because then you went from a player that's up here to a player who's down here, meaning it stalls your progress and it gives you a much less chance of winning the Premier League. You have to remember, guys, we are up against some serious animals.
1 second, and nobody is saying one second. Nobody's condoning racism. Nobody's condoning any ridiculous slurs or insults to the guy. Nobody here is saying that. That is wrong. That's
wrong. Yeah.
Everybody
Guys,
knows that is deplorable. Don't sit here and act like anyone's doing that. I'm strictly speaking about him as a footballer, and I don't think he's worth the money that we're potentially going to be spending on him. Hence why I don't want him to join my football club. If he was a loan, if he was a cheaper deal, maybe 30 million, maybe even 35, pushing it, then I'll be like, maybe I can justify it. But the actual issue I have with it is Arsenal need difference makers, and we're bringing in Nani Madueke to back up Saka. If they view Bukayo Saka having a rotational piece in Nani Madueke as more important than us going and getting another difference maker, I'm concerned if Saka's injury is worse than we actually believe.
Yeah, exactly, because Saka's not a rotational player, and if Saka's fit, as I said, unless I don't have the information about a big injury, if Saka's fit, he's starting most games for Arsenal. And that's because Saka likes to play a lot of games. He's very fit, not very injury prone, very top level talent. He's like Salah, played a lot of games, right? So ultimately, Saka's going to play regardless. So my only understanding of a £50 million player is that you're going to find somewhere for him. I don't know what.
If he signs and he's an Arsenal player, I hope he proves me wrong.
Of course, I
don't want to sit here and be like, I don't want to eat humble pie if he does well.
Yeah,
if he's love that. But my thing is, I don't think that pie will ever show up.
If he signs, I'll support him. I'm always going to support him if he signs. But again, I'm going to defend the fact that I don't want him, and that's it. Basically,
I just hope he proves us wrong. And if he
doesn't, but Egal, I'll tell you one thing. If we sign, I'm gonna put it right now. And Hussam, I want you to listen to this. If we sign Eze, we sign Noni Madueke, Gyokeres, Mosquera, Zubimendi, and Norgard.
Best window of all time in my.
I think best window of all time, and I think we finish above Liverpool. If they end up signing nobody else, and if they go and sign Isak and they go and sign Rodrygo, then I'm.
Why is your scenario +4 signings for Arsenal and us no one?
That's Staffy's scenario.
Yeah.
No.
What scenario did I? What?
Okay, I'm giving you a very plausible. I'm gonna give you a very plausible scenario.
Just turn my name. I have no idea what I did.
Liverpool sell Diaz and Nunes. We buy Ekitike, Rodrygo, and let's say Mikotadze from Lyon, and we buy Mark Gahey. Yalla, those are the four we're interested.
Yeah, then I think you finish above us. Yeah, Rodrygo only. If you just say Rodrygo without any other player, I think it's over. Right?
Wait. So Liverpool.
Rodrygo. Let's say Malik Fofana with the names I mentioned.
Bro, 1 second. You're bringing in 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 starters.
No, we're not.
5 starters. You're bringing Ekitike, right? You're bringing in
Frimpong, Karkaz, Ekitike.
Frimpong, Karkaz, wirtz, and you're bringing in a 5th starter. Starter in Guehi.
That's what United and Chelsea used to do when they dominated.
So that's 5 starters.
And then they added on it.
5 starters.
Yeah, but the spine is there. Alisson, Van Dijk.
5 starters. You're going to change the whole way you
Van
play.
Dijk, McAllister, Gravenberch, Salah.
You're going to change the whole way you play. It's going to be very difficult to acclimatize with 5 new starters coming in.
Don't worry about that.
No, they don't. What are they changing how they play?
Yeah, no Trent means they're going to have to find a new creative hub, which is going to be Florian Wirtz. They're not going to play the same way with the wingers that they used to, with Robertson not being as with Kirkes being better defensively. With Kirkes being better defensively than Robinson and going forward. And Frimpong not being as good as a passer as Trent, but being a better player in the final third.
Okay, other than Frimpong, what are they changing?
Their creativity came from Trent.
Let me just read
other than that, what else did they change? Because they said they're changing.
They also are changing their midfield, they're changing their striker, and they're changing their back line. Everything is changing at Liverpool.
Maybe Salah was doing all this without any.
You guys always say Egal.
They get Ekitike, by the way.
Bro, Liverpool could be doing too much overcorrecting. Liverpool could be doing too much, because I'm not even going to sit here and say Liverpool are going to be bad. I'm just simply saying, if you change your defense, your midfield, and your attack, there's going to be
changing their defense though.
Yeah, two fullbacks.
Bro,
I'm Margay.
Three defenders. Does is an improvement on what Robertson was doing anyways. He was a liability there. The only one I agree with,
I'm just saying,
is Trent, because Trent inverted a lot centrally, and he had a lot of passing.
Listen,
so when you take that volume out, I agree with that.
Liverpool blitzed the league early because they already had a lot of these players, and the manager came in and tweaked some things, and they found a lot of solutions early. If they now have to experiment to start the season to figure out how they're going to play, it could be a little bit shaky at the beginning, and they might hit form later on. Now, I'm not saying they're not going to win the league or not, but it is going to be a reality. Liverpool are going to have to find out how they're going to play different next season with all these new pieces.
You don't have to play different. That's my point. You're just saying that. They don't have to play different.
With Trent gone, Liverpool can never play the way they played last season.
Trent was losing the ball more than anyone on that team.
Trent was their main ball progressor.
No, he wasn't. What are you talking about? Main ball progressor? Your main ball progressor is never your right back anyways. He can invert all he wants. He can spam all the passes and all the crosses he wants.
Please speak to my brother. Who is your main ball
progressor?
What?
Trent
is not our main ball progressor.
He's not the main ball progressor.
One that progresses follows Gravenberg in midfield.
On the progression map, Gravenberg is in that team. All your progression from deep came from either Van Dijk or it came from Trent. That's it.
So what was Gravenberch and McAllister doing? Touching their fucking balls in the midfield? What were they doing?
Majority of Liverpool's play came through the right-hand flank. Van Dijk,
because of Salah, not because of Trent.
And Salah. The midfield did not do as much ball progression as you guys believe.
Yeah, Habibi, Trent had a worse passing fucking percentage than Bruno. What are we talking about here? The guy loses the ball more than anyone on that team. Yes, you lose a lot of his creativity. If you at least said his set pieces as well, I'd be like, you know what? Fair enough. Because the guy had a cross on him. And when they needed solutions and he inverted in that midfield, he would offer something. But Frimpong is going to give him a different dimension. This is why I don't disagree with you when you say that. If anything, Frimpong is going to help Salah a lot more because he's going to be overlapping him. But why are we forgetting that they lost creativity from their right back and they added Wirtz there? Wirtz is better than anything they've had in that 10 position for years now. I can't tell you the last time Liverpool had a very silky midfielder.
That's why I said they're going to have to play different.
But it's an improvement. When you say different, it's like they got to switch up the whole way they play. They don't have to. If anything, you have to do the same because you get Gyokeres and you got to change the way you play. And that's something that doesn't get spoken.
And the new left winger.
Last time I checked.
And the new left winger. And Partey's now have the
Last time I checked, we're bringing in 3 players. These guys are talking about bringing in 5 out of their 11.
Yeah,
so of
that's
course.
fine.
One second.
I
found it.
Frimpong, Gay.
I found
Just
it.
because Columbus is replacing Robertson doesn't mean that now, oh my God, they got to change the way he plays.
I found it.
Does everything better than
I was
Robertson.
talking about build-up play. I found what I was looking for. Here it is. Finally, after you guys kept waffling like crazy people, here we go.
What are you showing me again? What is these Crayolas? What the fuck is on my screen?
Look at that right there. Look at that right there.
Explain to me what is this.
Can you see what we're looking at?
Yeah. See, I want you to explain it though.
Let me make it bigger. Where is it? Where's Liverpool? Here it is. Liverpool. Can you see that Trent Alexander-Arnold is one of their main players in the build-up?
All these yellow fucking lines are there? It's not because it's Trent. Who the fuck is he passing to in that area?
Salah!
So if Salah is not there, would they be making that amount of passes? No, they wouldn't. So you blame yourself. Those passes are going into Salah. They're not highlighted because Trent is making them. They're highlighted because the ball's going into Salah. Just to prove it more. Please, just to prove it more. Look at the orange. Where's the orange passing? To the
Salah!
No. But then no. No. But Staffy,
Your
how's
build-up
the ball
play-
going to get the build-up
Your
play?
build-up play is coming from the right back.
Before the pass. How is Salah going to get the ball? It's the build-up play.
The ball is going there. No, it's just because Trent wants
The
to play
pass
the ball
before the
there.
pass
It's
is
because
grabbing
Salah is
ball.
So
there.
Salah is going to have
It's
to
not
play
grabbing
from a
Birch. It's
deeper.
not grabbing
Salah
Birch.
is going to have to play from deeper because Frimpong's not going to have the same level of passing as Trent.
He's not. He just isn't.
The
Yes,
line
but
was
Frimpong
like
is better
49, Salah
overlapping.
drops
And
anyways.
Staffy
So
already
Salah-
told you.
Salah is going to have to.
I don't want to
Why are you
the
getting
guy
mad?
no more.
You're
He's
not
a
doing it.
And
He can't
Staffy
even
already
explain.
told you we signed
and
Birch.
I think
Staffy
Staffy and Hossam don't know what they're talking about. The system will have to change.
I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The purple is coming from the right hand side. The orange was passing to the right hand side, and the yellow was passing to the right hand side. Let's ignore that everything is going in and out from the right hand side. It has nothing to do with Salah. It was just Trent. You guys are right, man. You guys are right. You guys clocked it.
And you guys completely
clocked it.
ignored once again. I will shout it again. Solz, I'll shout it again. Once again. We signed Florian Wirtz. Hello.
Why are you shouting for the
Florian Wirtz is in the midfield.
Yes.
Hello.
Sorry.
Okay.
Newsflash, Hossam. Florian Wirtz is not right back.
Okay, can I tell you why I'm shouting? Egal's statement is the following. We don't know what Frimpong is going to do. He doesn't pass as well as Trent. Staffy's immediate
Well, I
rebuttal
never
was...
said that. I said you're going to have to play different. You're bringing in five starters.
Staffy's immediate rebuttal was, okay, they signed Wirtz now. So the one who play makes is who? Wirtz. Problem solved. Done. Thank you very much. Anyway.
Oh,
let
so
me just read
Florian
these
Wirtz
super-
is going to play the same way
Egal.
as Trent.
Egal, you're thinking, wallah. Let me just read
Is
these
Florian
super
Wirtz
chats.
going to create the same way as Trent? No, he's not.
He's not going to do that. Of course
He
he's
might
not.
create even better in the
No,
final
no,
third
no,
than
he's
Trent.
Hey, but you're going to play
He's a
different.
midfielder. If you
You guys don't know how you're gonna play
No, I do know how we're gonna play.
The problem is now Liverpool fans don't actually know how Liverpool are going to play. This is the problem.
No, I do know. I do know.
What Hossam is saying.
Thank you. Somebody calling it.
No. Do you know why? Because what Hossam is saying is that
What
Florian
point have you made? I
Why
get. I
you
know
guys are
what we're
hilarious,
gonna
man. I
play.
love you guys.
I'll make the point. Basically, what Hossam's saying is that Florian Wirtz is going to create chances for Liverpool in the exact same way that a player that plays right back does. How does that make any
That's
sense?
not what I said. I said the main playmaker of the team will be Florian Wirtz. That's what I
Which
said.
means you have to play differently to create those chances.
We already know we're gonna play differently. If you just ask, if you just ask the question, how would Liverpool play? I'll tell you. Liverpool are now gonna operate in a 4-2-3-1, where Gravenberch and McAllister operate in a double pivot instead of McAllister being further forward. In front of them will be Florian Wirtz, and we'll be attacking in teams of 6 with the right back overlapping, the left back overlapping, and Wirtz being someone who makes runs and through balls and passes and shit like
Trent
that.
is gone, so Staffy's wrong then. Because
Okay,
Trent
so
is
how
gone.
is
Come on,
so
Ron,
Salah-
I just explained the chart that he couldn't explain.
One second. So you guys, your main creator is now in the central position, and you're gonna ask McAllister and Gravenberch to be the guys who get the ball from deep, right?
McAllister is more than capable of playing passes into Florian Wirtz between the lines to start the creation for Liverpool.
Okay, you're making yourself a little bit easier to play against because the main player who's the most dangerous piece is Mo Salah. And if you're saying your main ball progression is no longer going to be coming from the right-hand side to get to Mo Salah, you're not going to be getting the ball as you're not going to be getting the ball as quick.
Why are you acting like only Trent can do that?
No, because my point is very simple. Liverpool will no longer have one of their main creative hubs, which is getting the ball
What
to
was so
Trent.
creative about that line passing to Salah? Put that line again. What was so creative about it? The line
It is
went
the
from
build-up
the
play.
halfway
It
line.
is
What was so
the
creative
one
about that?
second. It is literally the build-up play for Liverpool Football Club. This is literally
What
Liverpool's
is-
build-up play.
No. Build a play and creativity are two different things. You will not insult my intent. Look at the yellow lines. The ball
I'll tell
is
you what
going from the right back position to the halfway line. There
No,
is
Staffy.
nothing difficult.
No, it
You're
is
telling me
difficult.
Frimpong
It's very
can pass the ball to
difficult.
the halfway line.
Guys,
I'll tell you what.
you're the one insulting everyone's intelligence, thinking that Liverpool can
He's
lose.
better than you.
One second.
You don't know
For
what
the
you're saying.
last
When
For the
Arsenal
last
scored-
several
when
years,
Arsenal
Hussein,
scored a
we have
bunch
been
of
speaking
corners-
about Trent Alexander-Arnold.
No.
We have
And not only
speaking
that-
about Trent Alexander-Arnold for the
Everyone
last
knows we
couple
can
of
hear
years.
you
No,
guys.
it's not. That's what we're talking about. Because when Arsenal scored a bunch of goals from the corner flag, everyone said it's only a corner. Anyone can take corners, but no one
What
can
does
take
that have to
them.
do with this topic?
No, I'll tell you what's got to do with it. Because ultimately, the pass, even though it looks simple, is still difficult. Not everyone can do what Trent can do. Not everyone can cross the ball like Saka and Rice can do from corners.
But that's not what we talked about. We talked about passing the ball from the right back position.
Okay, Staffy, can Frimpong pass like Trent? Staffy, can Frimpong do it? Can Frimpong do the pass?
No, he can't.
I didn't say that. However, we are not going to sit here and pretend that no right back can get the ball to Salah on the halfway line. If you're talking about,
we act like Liverpool are going to play the same as last season.
If anything, they added an extra creator in the midfield. So now, instead of them being dominantly on the right and predominantly just passing to the right, now they have another option to pass through.
You know what they lost? You know what they lost?
Some is going to the right. Some of them actually might go to the
They have no steal. They lost the steal. That's what they're doing. They are now going for more creativity in the midfield. That means more of the ball in the center and not with their best player Mo Salah.
So congrats. Now instead of them
means
just
they have to play different.
now they have to split up. Not only
they have to play different.
They have to keep on wirtz. Congrats.
Listen,
now
it's a good thing.
From two areas.
It's a good thing you're not asking for Mo Salah to do everything again because maybe he won't be capable to do.
That's the whole.
I was giving him no creativity on the midfield.
But my main argument is not Liverpool are going to fail. My main argument is not Liverpool are going to be bad. My main argument is simple. Trent Alexander-Arnold had a lot of duties to do in their creativity and in their build-up play. And now that he's gone and you're bringing in Frimpong, he is going to be asked to do something that different than what Trent was being asked to do because that's not his skill set. His skill set is to get forward. That means Salah is going to have to drop deeper. That means in order for him to overlap, Salah is going to have to be in a position which is a lot deeper and giving him the freedom to.
He's already been deeper for about 2 seasons, bro. Do you not watch
Salah, I know he has, but guess what? He's had a right back.
He still plays with
he's had a right back. He's had a right back who could give him the ball from any position and create 1v1s or quick counterattacks. They're not going to have that same outlet on that right-hand flank anymore.
Trent was the only right back in the world that can do that. Guys, I have bad news for you Liverpool fans. Salah is
not going to get the ball as much. They don't have a right back that can do that. Trent is generational. Why are we acting like he's not?
They're going to have to change the way they play. That's normal.
But Trent's not generational.
When you're overly reliant on one position to do a certain thing, and you sign a player in that same position that can't do what he does, and then you sign better players in different positions, you're going to have to adjust the way you play.
Okay, hey, look, both of you. One second. Both of you have made your point.
All about the fact that Egal
let me just
now in the build-up. Salah is going to struggle because he doesn't have Trent.
But I just want to say one thing. Staffy ended this debate an hour ago, but you guys were just shouting for no reason and not even hearing what he says. Me and Staffy both have acknowledged that Liverpool will play different. Staffy made a point that you guys completely ignored because you're frauds. Arsenal will also have to change the way that they play because you now have...
And Egal doesn't want to talk about that.
Okay, now, with Arnie Slot...
You'll play when Gyokeres is
here.
Exactly.
With Arnie Slot, I've already seen he's capable of making adjustments, like playing with...
What is this guy doing, man?
Like when Gravenberch is out, he put Szoboszlai in the 6. Like he's already adjusted so many things. When McAllister was injured, he's done things to show me that he can adjust. And he's changed. Maybe 1 second. And we haven't even played slot ball yet that he got from Feyenoord. He only adjusted a little bit what Klopp did. In his first season at Feyenoord, people don't know this. The guy sold 16 players in his first season at Feyenoord. And like there was like a massive exodus and a lot of people joining, and he won the league as well the year after. So that's my point.
This is what I gotta say to you. This is what I gotta say to you. What is this? What is this? What is this? These are the amount of starters you have to account for into your starting 11 next season. These are the amount of starters we have to account for that we need to make adjustments for.
And even then, we're gonna have to
almost half of your outfield is changing.
And with Gyokeres, well, I can accept Arsenal will probably have to change the way they play. Saka may get less GA now because ultimately Saka's going to be...
But we can't say Liverpool has to change how they play because they lost a generational Trent. All of a sudden, Trent is not generational because he went to Real Madrid. Because he's playing right back, he's all of a sudden not generational.
Everyone stop shouting. You just said we're going to lose a generational talent in Trent. You want to know what we did? We signed a generational talent in Florian Wirtz. But the creativity will not now come from right back. It'll come from the middle of the pitch with Florian
Wirtz. Hasn't got Trent passing. Wirtz
Wirtz has better passing in final third. Final third, Wirtz is better passer.
That's fine, but the final third is not what Salah wants.
Now I'll score more goals in the final third from passes through the middle.
No, but Salah will have to adjust the way he plays now because he's not going to have...
no problem. Bro, يا حبيبي, the
What
problem
does
is
Salah
you
have
don't
to adjust?
ask
Please
for no
explain to me.
reason.
Wait, no, hold on. What does Salah have to
These
adjust?
guys.
Just you're not going to see the same pass.
Oh my
حبيبي,
god.
استنى
Guys,
دقيقة.
why
Let him
You
explain.
guys
Sam,
shout.
Sam, let him explain.
Guys, I beg you, let me make one
guys.
statement. You
Okay,
guys
go
are shouting for no reason. Me and Staffy acknowledged 15 minutes ago.
because you
Now,
disagree with us.
Salah is going to have to play
Staffy
different.
just disagrees
He's
with me.
not going to
Staffy
be
just
the only one that Liverpool rely on. And creativity won't come from right back, it'll come from the middle of the
Sam,
pitch.
you're wrong. Sam, you're wrong. No.
20 minutes ago.
Staffy just said 2 minutes ago, why will Salah have to change the way he plays?
No,
just
I
asked-
said explain to me what is he going to change or why does he have to change? I need you to
I
explain.
told you why. Because Salah receives the passes from right back from Trent. That's how he got a lot of his goals last season. Okay, from the over the top. Scored it against Arsenal. Scored
So
it
him
against
receiving the ball on the halfway line is because of Trent. Okay, continue.
You know something?
It's the
No,
quality.
hold
of
on,
the
Egal. Hold
pass.
on. Let him finish. I want to hear from him.
It's the quality of the pass that goes up to Salah will now not be there anymore. I don't think that. I think that
What quality of pass was he
the
receiving
quality
that
of
is
the
so
pass
irreplaceable?
that to Salah. Frimpong's an overlapping fullback. I don't think he can make those passes. I agree with Hassan.
He can't pass the ball to his feet at the halfway line. Is that what we're saying? Frimpong is so
not,
ass, he can't
it's
pass
not
the
that
ball.
simple. It's not that simple.
If anything was so significant about Trent was his diagonal passes to the other side of the pitch. That was one thing that was very good about him. Outside of that, it was his set pieces. The fact that we're talking about Salah now has to adjust because his right back is not going to give him the ball to feet at the halfway line. What is this, bro? You can put any a right back and who'll do that.
Can I
What's so
speak?
significant about that?
Can I speak? The attacking.
Go ahead, Egal. What do you got for me?
The attacking output can potentially be replaced by having Frimpong being a little bit more attacking and more of a goal scorer. But what they're going to miss is the control they had in the midfield with Trent also being able to play the pass.
He lost the ball more than anyone. What control?
Trent was a midfield hybrid of a fullback. He was not.
He lost the ball more than anyone.
Trent Alexander-Arnold was more of a midfield hybrid than he was an actual right back. At Liverpool, for the majority of the time, he was utilized almost as a right wing back / midfielder. And the way that he was able to build up, he occupied an area of the pitch where the whole right-hand side, he was one of the main creative hubs from that whole right-hand side. Don't get me wrong, inside the box and just outside the box, that was Salah. But everything else from the whole right-hand side in the whole entire Premier League, Trent Alexander-Arnold created the most creativity from those areas. From inside the box, inside your own half and in, Trent was cash money. He's either getting you an assist for somebody in behind, or he's crossing it into the back post onto the other side of the net, or he's
went from control to build up to creativity to assists. We're all over the place. I have no answer for you.
Alexander-Arnold was one of your best players at Liverpool Football Club over the last couple of years at being able to find something out of nothing from that right-hand side. All of a sudden, he's gone to Real Madrid, and we're acting like Trent Alexander-Arnold leaving is nothing.
Won the league in one of his worst seasons and everything you just said.
Now, Florian Wirtz coming in, he's going to have to create from the central position and maybe float either way. But in my opinion, the right back that was generational, that was creating, that was helping out in the midfield, that was helping out in the attack, that maybe wasn't the best defensively, but guess what? He still was able to do a good enough job defensively to be considered.
And we have
guys.
We have an update. Hold on. We have a Fabrizio Romano update. Victor Gyokeres deal remains ongoing with the two clubs maintaining their position on the transfer fee, so they're not moving on the transfer fee. No, Fabrizio Romano.
Yeah, okay. So we already know this.
No chance for Gyokeres to show training. He's already informed Sporting only Arsenal.
Don't worry, we already know Gyokeres going to Arsenal.
So Fabrizio's changing words and posting the same tweet.
Basically. Yeah. Okay. Now you're just now you're just tap dancing for Egal. Let me just read these super chats because we're approaching Oppenheimer settings. You wanna know what's funny? I did timestamps. I did a timestamp minute 5:41 called Madueke Arsenal. And I haven't changed the timestamp because it's been fucking Arsenal debate.
I'm done Madueke as well. We don't want Madueke. Bun him.
There we go. Egal was just saying no abuse, and then Solz just gave him abuse. There we go.
No. I'm saying bun him. Like bun is like UK slang.
Oh, like bun him. Astaghfirullah, you fraud.
No, not like that. I mean like bun.
Let me just read these super chats. So we can get out of here, bro. You guys. Bro, honestly, Solz and Egal on the same stream is a fucking madness. Big up to Aboud Al-Hammadi, Habib Galbi. He says, this why Al-Wahda finished third this season. Hold that. Big up Al-Ain, man. Biggest club in the UAE.
Scrub, Aboud, you scrub.
You're a scrub, Solz. Hold that. Salah adjusted his game 3 times in the last 8 years. He did, and that's the thing that we have tried to explain. He became a touchline. Went from inside forward to touchline winger to create for Nunes, everything.
That's fine, but at least admit that he'll change his way he plays, and that's it.
Okay, me and Staffy only admitted this 21 minutes ago. Hello, thank you for coming. Breaking. Egal continues to cope over facts. Fabrizio Fonzmano, and then he says, "Here we don't. Arsenal have won their league." Fonzie, honestly, see why I have high expectations. Because it's actually funny. So that's why when you make shit jokes, I cook you. That's exactly why. What if it's Arsenal buying Noni and making Chelsea promise to not go in for Rodrygo? What kind of like sorcery is this?
What benefit? I'd actually rather Chelsea get Rodrygo than Liverpool. I don't know what benefit that does to us.
Vince McMahon, no chance. Just making up scenarios and shit. Imagine on the phone with Lance Stewart. Yo, listen, we're gonna buy Madueke, but please promise you won't go in for Rodrygo. The fuck kind of like who does this?
He's gonna be like, say wallahi, you won't buy him.
Like, say wallah you won't buy him. Say wallah you won't buy him. You get me? Big up to Hamid who says, Habibi, my brate. Brate moi, Hamid. Shout out to all the Bosnians who watch us. Big up to you.
I big up Mikel Arteta, innit?
Big up to Arteta's not Bosnian.
Random shout out for no reason. Random as fuck.
Yes.
Shout out
to Bosnians, and men said shout out Arteta.
Yeah, shout out to Mikel Arteta. He ain't from Bosnia. You get me? Eden Arteta. Is Eze, Gyokeres, Zubimendi, Madueke, Kappa, Norgard, Mosquera. We aren't losing any of our existence. Listen, they said this is the best window ever.
We don't know if it is. If we sign those exact players there, I think it's our best window in the last decade. Factually, it is.
It is our best window of my lifetime.
Yeah, probably. Bro, back in the day, Wenger used to get only Petr Cech for a whole summer window.
Stop. Wenger got you Ozil and Sanchez in the same window.
No, he didn't. Ozil came first. Sanchez came after.
That's literally factually correct. But yeah,
they were in the same window. I can swear they were. Oh, really? Maybe I don't know. Maybe I forgot.
Listen, I'm just gonna say this. Shout out to you guys, but I think sometimes you don't want to hear other people's opinions, and you just think everything's wrong.
Listen to your stream.
This whole entire time.
Egal.
Wallahi, this whole stream, I never once said anything outrageous. I have the whole chat cussing me because of the Liverpool take, and you misconstrued my take.
It's okay.
Misconstrued my whole take.
Egal. I'll say this to you right now on live.
Liverpool are doing something great. They're bringing a lot of players, but doing this, we've seen it with the Galacticos. Sometimes you have to over-adjust because you've signed so many great players in so many different positions that you're now going to be playing completely different from how you were playing. And I love all you guys, but right now it's come to a point where when I speak, it's almost like, oh, this idiot's just talking and nobody actually...
Okay, hold on. We disagree all the time. One second.
Please, I have to respond to this. Egal, first of all, on this channel, you rarely get clipped up. Second of all, if we didn't allow you to speak and express your opinion, we wouldn't have been here for 1 hour and 53 minutes. You get me? That's number one. Number three, if you make a point and we disagree with it and we give you an explanation, that doesn't mean we hate you and said it's outrageous. We just disagree with your take. If you're saying Salah is going to adjust, our response is, okay, Arsenal have to adjust too because you signed the Gyokeres, who's a target man striker, who's a madman up top. So there will be adjustments either side. All we're saying is we've seen Salah adjust 3 times over the last 8 years and Liverpool still have had success. So we have just given you a perfect rebuttal. And if your opinion we feel like is wrong, we're going to discuss it back. That's it.
I don't mind.
Yeah, man, I got to go though. I got to pick up the wifey.
Yo, before you go, by the way, I just wanted to, because you made me curious to check the stats. I already knew I was right, but I wanted to check the stats. And I wanted to check, what's his name? Trent's passing stats. Last season, he was averaging 73% passing completion rate, which had him in the bottom 20% in his position. That's how bad he was when it came to it. So when you were talking about build-up and progression and all that stuff, the guy is in the 20th percentile. So everything you said, I'm sorry about that. This is no disrespect, but you were factually wrong. Test told me you were wrong because I watched games, and factually, when I looked at the stats, you were wrong. There's no control when you're passing 73%.
Hey, the last year, I think they were trying to push him out the team, and not push him out the team, but try to not utilize him as much because they maybe knew that he was going to be leaving in the back end of last season.
Big up, Egal,
Anyways,
guys.
I gotta go, guys.
Egal,
I have
football
one.
is
Egal
cool.
hype.
Peace out.
Big up, Egal. More I think about this window, the more I feel Arsenal should go for cheaper striker like Watkins if it means we could still get Eze and Rodrygo. If that's the trade-off, I don't care if Madueke joins. I mean, Eze and Rodrygo together with Watkins is better than Gyokeres with just one of them, of course. But I just don't see a world where you sign both, Habibi. That's been my problem from the start. I think it will be a failure of the window if you allow Rodrygo to go to any Premier League club that isn't Arsenal. I hear you, but there could be a possibility that Liverpool get Rodrygo, of course, and there's a possibility that City get Rodrygo. There's many possibilities. One kiss is all it takes. Big up to you, Solz.
Guys, I need to step
Big
off.
up.
Peace.
Left winger for Al Ain. Big up, guys.
Love you guys. Love you guys. Yalla habibi. Ma salama.
That's it.
See you.
Listen, Michael in the chat, if you're gonna call me a fraud, please spell it correctly. You spelled it 2 times wrong. It's an A, not an O, you idiot.
Yes. I love when people say this stuff like this. This is the type of stuff that just always makes me laugh. Like,
Well, I don't get it, bro. They think I work for the club.
like you know, like
What do
Staffy,
I supposed
like
to do?
Staffy is like, what's his name? You get me? What's the show small owner tobacco?
Blazers?
Ratcliffe,
Sir
like
Jim.
he's Ratcliffe's son or something. You know, like he has
Yeah,
the
Sir
shot
Staffy
collar.
Ratcliffe. They think I work for the club. If
How do
anyone
you call
followed me
that
over the
every
last 3
day?
years, you would know that I 90% of the times don't even like our signings. I never
Yeah,
agree
I
with
talk
them.
about the club all
And
the
then we
time.
get worse and people laugh at me. So I didn't even want them.
Arsenal fans, if they would sign Win the Dog for backup keeper, they would all back it, mashallah. Low-key better than Kepa still. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you keep talking about the price tag. Yeah, but Kepa's shit, mate. That's the point. Big up to you, Caster. Kepa might cost you 2 cups minimum, like being your Onana. He could, 100% he could. And that was the point I was saying. So, yeah. Thierry Nonri, Lionel Messi, Nonialdo, scary Arsenal is what Enos is saying.
Nonri is a very good name, I'm not gonna lie. That's a very good name.
Thierry
Nonri.
Nonri is the best one.
That's a crazy
Thierry Nonri is definitely the best one. Madueke for 40 million is a good signing, and he is flexible, as what Focused Mind is saying. Yeah, 100%. He's flexible, and just like you're going to flex second again for 4th year in a row. Actually, no, possibly 3rd, because City might finish 2nd. Update! The sun came out today. Is what it is.
Well, that's the updates that Fabrizio gives us. It's the same
Love
thing.
that, Ilya. Love that, Ilya. Hat-trick of second places, but better project. Can't be arsed. Exactly. We explained that. And I'm so glad even Egal is like, Solz, don't do this. Don't down this hill. Liverpool is the better project. You get me? I'm glad in the end, like, they came around to it. Guys, by the way, let's get the likes up, please. Like and subscribe now. 6,000 languages in the world, and Egal decides to speak waffle. 100%. 100% Egal had his waffling moment today. You get me? But listen, we are here. Me and Staffy agreed, and we rarely agree. So we cooked on that footballing point. Oi, Arsenal bums, thanks for paying our fines, is what Papa Beard is saying. They literally directly funded Joao Pedro. You get me? So, yeah. Brother, with all due respect, you can't say Rodrygo is a serial winner and Arsenal was one of his best options in the same breath. What have you won? Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, he's saying it's going to be money incentivized. Yeah, but of course, players like that want to win too. It's not just money by itself, of course. Egal, what happened to I back who the manager wants yesterday? That's the no context fan TV clip is iconic. Why?
Bro, wallahi, I'm telling you, I was tearing up when I heard that. Because I put the phone away while I'm doing something and I just heard, why? I lost my shit. I couldn't believe it.
On the stream with Ashraf and Wolfie, we were literally just like doing watch along to it. It was hilarious. Also, put it the other way. If Madueke was in Arsenal with this performance, you think Chelsea would pay what you pay? Bums. Hell no, Chelsea ain't paying 50 million for Madueke if he was at Arsenal. That's just the truth. So Arsenal signed 7, good. Liverpool signed 5, too much, exactly. But because they're 5 starters. Okay, Makarkas already knows the Premier League. Like, it's just not everyone is difficult, to integrate into the team. And by the way, Conor Bradley might start a bit of games before Frimpong does. This is exactly the problem with Egal. Dude leans into hypotheticals, makes a conclusion emphatically as if it's true. Pure hopium, copium.
This is why I asked him to explain. Because a lot of people say shit and they don't explain it. Egal, as much as I love Egal, I asked him to explain his trap point. He mentioned build-up, control, passing range, creativity, assists. He was all over the place. It's like this guy got in the kitchen and he started using every utensil and ended up with nothing.
Yeah, it's like putting chocolate on steak. Egal, you never know what you're talking about. Hey, Egal, the yellow line artist is what Norbert is saying. The yellow line was all passes to Salah as well. That's the funny part. We played some of our best games with Bradley. Yeah, Madrid, Manchester City, all of them. Big up to Anton Anonymous, who says, did Arteta know Moreno was a striker? He didn't. You get me, but they adjusted and won nothing. Egal, you're giving yourself less excuses if Liverpool win the league again and Arsenal fail after all these changes at Liverpool you're saying about. Exactly. And there are no excuses for Arsenal. Make no mistake. There's literally zero excuses for Arsenal this season. No one cares. Like, literally, they could sign Staffy and no one cares. You get me? So that's the thing. So how do we win games with Bradley at right back is what Hassan is saying. Exactly. And big games, by the way, not like normal games, like massive games, like against Madrid and shit. I have nothing to say. I just feel bad y'all had to listen to the scope for over 60 minutes. I hope this helps, is what Adam is saying.
You know what's the best thing, Adam? Egal spoke the most of the stream. He was like, I feel like you guys don't listen to me.
Habibi, you spoke the most, Egal. You spoke the most.
Like, you take out your girl. She's like, I feel like you don't pay attention to me. I just took you out to dinner last night. What do you mean I don't pay attention to you? Egal, listen to you for over an hour, bro. Come on.
Staffy, these Arsenal clowns are coping. Don't worry. They listen. They're not clowns, but they were coping, bro.
Yeah, they're not clowns, but I do agree.
Cope is mad. McAllister and Gravenberch will facilitate what Trent did. Egal, I tried to explain to him. The breaking the line passes will be through McAllister.
Are you sure they can make simple passes to Salah? Because I don't think so. Only Trent can do that. Salah would have had no career if Trent didn't exist, I guess.
Yeah, if Trent just didn't pass him the ball, it's going to be difficult. You got to keep aiming the goalpost. Now it's in the dugout. That's what Duarte is saying. Hey, big up Duarte. Listen, big up to every single one of you guys. This was a very fun stream, you know. Staffy knows this. When we woke up today, Egal is like, he has to pick up his wife. And then we changed the time of the stream. And then Staffy wasn't capable of making it. And then he came back and he's like, yo, I can do 2 now again. So it was
you know what I did? Wallah, I didn't even tell you that. You hit me up again saying, Khalas, we're on for 2. Wallah, I went to my mom to grab breakfast. And my mom lives like 10 minutes away. And you hit me up. And Wallah, I was like, Khalas, I'll just go back. She didn't even know why. I was like, I just got to do something. So I came back for the stream, Wallah. So
Wallahi love for the love, guys.
So please go support. We'll get him in the stream, Egal. Horrible decision.
Egal cooking is always worth it. Hey, big up Egal. Listen, guys, Staffy TV is in the description. Please go give him a subscribe. Go subscribe to Egal Talks Football. Go subscribe to Saad Football Corner. That's where you can find more of Solz. I'm sorry that there's only like 2 timestamps because it was really just Arsenal debate for the longest. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, the stream's going to take you over to Footy Judge Mo. He's live right now. Please go tell him Hussam Raid in his chat, please. Go say Hussam Raid, spam that shit in his chat. Love you all, and yeah, see you guys in Judge Mo chat.